Why get an updated COVID vaccine? If you're 65 or older, a COVID vaccine can keep you out of the hospital. And if you have heart disease, a COVID vaccine can help you stay healthy. With COPD or other lung diseases, getting a COVID vaccine can keep you off a ventilator. Anyone can get severely ill from COVID. But some people are more at risk. Know your risk and make sure you're up to date on your COVID vaccine. A message from the New York State Health Department.
It's All Seasons Outfitters store-wide clearance sale. Find huge savings on your favorite brands. North Face, Champion, and select work boots 50% off. Outdoor games and baseball 50% off. Save 30% on winter boots and hunting apparel. 25% on workwear and hikers. You won't want to miss it. The savings are on at All Seasons Outfitters. See more on their Facebook page and allseasonsoutfitter.com. Your store for every season is All Seasons Outfitters.
For a limited time at Mattress Express, qualified buyers will get 60 months to pay on any purchase $1,500 or higher with no money down. That includes all brands of mattresses in the store and massage chairs. See store for details.
On the Keeler Show today. It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen? Keeler's always in the know. It makes me want to call him and tell him where to go. And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started. It's time to get things started. On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIDX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
That Westwood One call, top of the hour, was really, really good.
Kevin Harlan, he really is one of the best in the business.
Listen, I'm no Chiefs fan, but that was an exciting game last night.
Yeah, I have to now look at it, take away the emotion, my hatred of the Kansas City Chiefs out of it, and say that it was a very exciting game. If you want a Super Bowl, that's the one you want. Congratulations to those who bet the over, because it was looking really. It was not looking good for the over there for a little while.
Does the over include overtime?
Now that I don't know. If it does, then the over won. If not, it was the under.
I would imagine it would.
Yeah, because it's the final score.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you. But I just, there's a lot of things that irk me about this win. San Francisco had so many opportunities. The bad luck that they had as well, with Dre Greenlaw, a big defensive weapon that could have came in handy at the end of the second half. He walked down. Did you see? He literally was running out to the field to take the field, and he tore his Achilles.
It wasn't even running out. He was in a crouch, like on his hands and knees in a crouch and ready to go. And he went like 3 feet and then went down.
And just dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't believe
what
that.
A terrible end.
You've got to look at that Moody kicker. He, missed that extra point. The special teams was on fire the whole game until it wasn't. He misses that extra point. He makes that extra point. San Francisco 49ers are the Super Bowl champions.
So, yes.
If it was,
but the problem is you can't look at it. You can't look at it that way, because
if Mahomes,
Mahomes scores a touchdown, he goes for 8. They tie it up. And maybe he doesn't make it, but maybe he does. You just don't know. And I hate to say it, but as much as I hate Mahomes, he finds a way to stinking win, and that's what they did last night. I just knew it. I just
when it
knew
went to
the
overtime.
minute the 49ers only ended up with a field goal on their first drive, I just knew it was all over.
Yeah.
That Mahomes was going to take it down the field, and he was going to score a touchdown. And sure enough, that's what happened. Thank the Lord. And it was an overtime victory, and really just an incredible game. One for the ages. I hate to say it, but it was.
You know, I don't know if the Chiefs will be able to continue this. I mean, you know, they're a good team. I hate them, but I can't deny. It's like it's getting back to Brady when he was winning all those times. I couldn't stand him. I couldn't stand the team, but darn it, you have to respect them.
We had a
but I don't respect Travis Kelce, and I think he's despicable. I think he's a disgrace, and I think he's one of the dirtiest people in the league.
What he did to his coach was to what's his name?
Andy Reid.
Andy
if that
Reid.
was anybody else, that the outrage would be. And now they won, so nobody's really.
I don't know
if
you saw it, but he kept running up in the first half because he wasn't getting enough throws or whatever. I don't know. They pulled him out. He wanted to stay in, and he ran up and completely was ready to scream at Andy Reid and knocked the clipboard out of his hand. Almost knocked him over.
He shoved him.
He did. In fact, there was another player that pulled him back. It was bad. And, of course, you know, he just played the second half and got the ball, did well, and the Chiefs ended up winning. So, wow. But that was bad. Commercials, really proud to say that Tim Reed.
I saw it. It did well.
And,
it was very good.
Our commercial did really well. We got a lot of action on it, a lot of people talking about it. It had the right message. The message is, you know, cancer is real. Get tested, and early detection can save your life. I had one guy, though, last night. I won't mention his name, but he's like, terrible commercial. What a waste of money. And the only thing I can think is that he just saw that he doesn't like the governor.
Yeah.
And he just saw the governor as if we, Tim Reed and me, we got the governor to join in with us. But if you really looked at it, it was a South Park style fake. It was a deep fake.
It was a deep fake AI masterpiece.
And it was meant to be funny with a great message, and there was nothing about liking or disliking the governor there. In fact, there was a line about her school bus plan, her electric school bus plan, which is certainly not real. But you know, and by the way, too, what would make you so angry that you would take to Facebook Messenger and message me right after the commercial airs and say, that's stupid, I hate it? I mean, what has happened to the world? Like, whatever happened to not liking something and keeping it to yourself? But I don't understand why you wouldn't like it. Why wouldn't you like it? So I'm like, I just responded back by saying, please don't get tested. Please, awesome. Whatever you do, don't get tested.
Well, with the
cancer.
exception of yours and maybe a couple others, I thought that was kind of a dud, too, the commercials. They weren't that great.
Again, most of them you see before the game even airs.
I did like the Arnold Schwarzenegger. I try not to watch them before the Super Bowl. Like, I don't go online and look at them. The Arnold Schwarzenegger State Farm one was pretty good.
That was funny, how he was mispronouncing.
Yeah. And then they brought in Danny DeVito at the end.
And DeVito at the end, and how the end correction was really funny. I thought that was a funny spot.
Yabak Staba.
It was that was a good spot.
And then there was the I don't know, for some reason it's totally random, but I liked the flash dance with the little gel kind of the Nerds commercial where it was like whatever that gummy was.
What that was.
And he's basically it's the flash dance recreation of the Nerds on the gummies.
I was around all day. I watched the slime the
Nickelodeon edition?
Nickelodeon edition early in the day.
Oh, okay.
So they had like an hour earlier in the day. And man, that thing moved fast, and it was I'm way too old for that. So I didn't see any of the actual Nickelodeon broadcast, but nonetheless, it was what it was. And I do want to get Ryan Schmelz's take on this. Ryan, from Fox News Radio.
As a Ravens fan, poor man.
As a Ravens fan, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Well, the only thing is it was a good game.
Yeah.
Right?
Really solid. I think both defensive coordinators called really great games.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh,
and
yeah.
It's kind of nice to see that happen in the Super Bowl, especially when, it's such a pass-happy and offense-happy league. It was nice to see the two defensive coordinators taking everybody else to school in many ways, up until the end at least.
I had a squares that went nowhere, but I put in a little tiny little bet that the game would go to overtime.
Ooh, there you go.
That was a goodie. That prop bet is one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that one did work out. The game did go to overtime. So that's that would be one that pays. So that was pretty cool. A little bright side to oh my God, Mahomes going to win this stupid thing, and of course he did. Yeah,
and that Travis Kelce piece of garbage.
Did you see that? Did you see where he went up to Andy Reid? And almost
at like the first quarter.
Yeah, and almost knocked him over.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, not cool. Okay, chaos up on Capitol Hill. It continues after the border deal was blocked in the Senate. Then over the weekend, the Senate sticking around to put a deal together for aid to Ukraine and to Israel. What do we know so far, Ryan? Good morning.
Right. So I think you guys learned, if you were paying attention to this, just how procedural the Senate really is, because there were multiple votes that went down. We still don't have the official vote, which is going to be the ultimate text and ultimate decision on whether or not this is going to pass the Senate and go to the House. So we're expecting that vote to maybe happen on Tuesday. Senate will be back in at noon today. But, yeah, they've been working pretty much all through the weekend and all through Super Bowl Sunday. You even had the senator who represents the state of Missouri not speaking until the 30 minutes before kickoff. So the Senate's been still at it, and they go on a recess the minute they get this thing passed or not.
Well, I mean, something has to be done here, right? I mean, something has to be done, but I worry that we might not get there.
Yeah, well, we're looking at a $95 billion package. It looks like it probably has the vote as it stands right now. But, yes, I mean, whatever happens after this is still a mystery, because then we go to the House, and the House doesn't seem too interested in taking this up as an entire package without some type of border security provisions attached to it. But the House has said they're not going to take up the bill that failed to get enough votes in the Senate. So what does this mean? I think the possibility of Speaker Johnson and the White House having a negotiation is becoming more and more realistic.
Yeah. Mayorkas was on Meet the Press and hinted that Biden is ready to take some sort of executive action, and the thought was yesterday that might actually come today. I just got word on it, though, Ryan. Biden forgot about the entire conversation, and they're going to have to start all over again. In reality, it'll be interesting to see if something is done there, because there are things that Biden can do. It probably will get tied up in the courts, but the reality is there are things he can do. So
yes, and that's if you talk to James Lankford, who's the Republican who negotiated that deal, he'll tell you, yes, there are a lot of things President Biden can do, but he still does believe that there are some laws that need to be enacted in order to truly impact change. And one thing that Kirsten Sinema, the independent who helped negotiate the deal, said was that, well, former President Trump did try to cut down the border, and he got hung up in the courts. So there are definitely laws that they need to put in at some point to fix this problem. But I think there is a thought that President Biden can do a lot more, and executive order is one of the things he can try.
Well, and when you take a look at the court issue, it's important to note that there are groups out there that feel we should be just allowing everyone in. And they they have attorneys, and they have donated money behind them, and they immediately sue the moment the moment some sort of executive action is taken. So this is not going to be easy, but it's hard for Biden to say to the House or the Senate Republicans to say to the House, something is better than nothing when Biden doesn't follow that rule himself. So this is blame going around on all parties, in my opinion.
Yep, and I think that's why you hear the argument that there needs to be a law. Groups are out there. Yes, they're going to sue the minute you try to do executive order. And in many ways, some believe if they would have had a law like some of the ones that were in the border security package, that would have forced President Biden to do things that he probably otherwise wouldn't be doing. You know, whether or not that would be effective or not, it's still going to be a debate that goes on. But, yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right. One final question that's the most important of all, Ryan. Are you an Orioles fan or are you a Washington fan?
I'm an Orioles fan, pretty much since the day I was born.
Well, listen.
All right, so we're going to be fighting all season. Thanks.
But all I can say is catchers and pitchers are reporting, I believe, this week.
And the Masters are coming up.
And there's so much to look forward to. So,
yes, there is.
There you go.
A fun baseball season.
All right. Have a great day, Ryan. Thanks, man.
You too, guys.
Ryan Schmelz, who is a Baltimore fan to the end, and believe me, was rooting for the 49ers just like we were.
And it's funny because I was, going into the game, I had such the test for the 49ers because they have our number in the playoffs, always beating Green Bay.
Yeah, that was
I
hard,
was just
right?
very easy to, but then I realized very quickly it was very easy to root for the 49ers.
They even brought it up.
They,
during the interview, one of them brought it up during the pregame show yesterday with Mahomes. It's like, how does it feel to be the evil one now? You're the one everyone wants beaten, and that's where they are. And you know what? As much as you hate to say it, they have created. Mahomes has created a dynasty there. Yeah. Andy Reid has created a dynasty. Mm-hmm. Taylor Swift has created a dynasty. Meteorologist Craig Flint on the line right now. Craig, good morning.
Good morning, Keeler. How are you?
Did you stay up and watch last night? Were you there till the end, or no care?
I was there till the end, and then quickly on the last drive when Kansas City scored, I quickly shut it off. I was done.
Yeah, because you don't want to hear from Kermit the Frog. You don't want to hear from what's his name, Paul Bundy. You don't want
I know.
Wilford Brimley.
Brimley. You know what? Congratulations to Kansas City. I'll take the high road. You know, like you said, they are in the midst of at least the beginning of a dynasty.
No doubt. Yeah.
Here's my take. You know, I just was hoping for San Francisco.
Yeah, and you know, it looked like it was going to happen, but you just knew with overtime, and you knew after they
so many opportunities,
only scored a field goal on that first drive. You just
then
knew.
You had that punt where it hit the. You got two situations where the defense of the 49ers was really keeping them in check. Then you have that punt where it hits the 49ers player's foot and they end up in the red zone. That would have never happened.
Right.
I just don't get it.
Let's move on. It is Valentine's week. It is we have the Heart Run and Walk just around the corner.
That's true.
There's so much to be thinking about. Springtime is coming, but after record-breaking temperatures, we're about to see and I think you called this, about to see a return to some sort of winter. However, it may be going a bit south. What do you know about this next event that we're looking at?
Yeah, this one, I've been keeping my eye on it since last week, and unless something major changes today, the trends are continuing to shift this more and more to the south. Now, I think we're still going to get scraped with at least some light snow or snow showers, but I don't see anything major in terms of accumulations out of this one, at least locally. If you have to travel, down towards Binghamton or the Catskills or the Poconos, different story down there. Could be up to a foot of snow down there. And, this type of situation, a couple things working against us. One, the storm's a fast mover, so even if it were to hit, it would be in and out, wouldn't be sticking around. Two, the position of the storm with the track being so far to the south. And it may, when we talk 50 to 100 miles in the world of weather, that's not much. Even though it sounds like a lot to us as human beings, that's nothing for Mother Nature.
Yeah.
So the position of the low really matters, and just looking at how everything is kind of shaping up here this morning. Like I said, unless something changes today or later today, I think this will be mainly an out to seaster and not a nor'easter. We're going to be kind of clipped on the northern fringe of this.
And then after temperatures reaching, I don't know, I saw 60.
Over 60 at a few times. Yeah.
Unofficially, we're going to be back to some normal weather, and so what do the trend now? Mid to upper 30s, maybe low 40s. Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah, I think we're probably going to average through the rest of the week. Once we get past tomorrow, somewhere in the low to maybe mid 30s. So definitely colder, but when we look at what a statistical average is for this time of the year, it's like 32.
Okay.
And I think that's going to be right where we're going to be. So, I mean, I wouldn't even call this I'd stop short of saying it's going to be cold, because it's really not going to be cold for this time of the year. It's just going to be what it should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But compared to near 60-degree warmth Friday into Saturday, it's colder.
Yeah. I found it, it's all in your mind. When you get 40 degrees after you've had temperatures in the teens and single digits, and all of a sudden it's 40, you're like, I don't even wear a jacket outside. It is so warm.
Oh, I was wearing the hoodie.
But there was something about this 60 degrees that didn't feel as warm as I thought it was going to feel, and I still thought it was kind of chill. If you were doing something outside, you were okay. But if you just went out to kind of check things out, it was a bit chilly still.
Well, it's all about the breeze, right?
It was breezy.
If there's a breeze stirring or a wind, it's still going to make it feel chilly, in the winter. So that's I understand exactly what you're saying. If it's a little breezy, it can still make it chilly, and especially if there's clouds overhead. And couple of days last week. It's so nice to see the sunshine.
Oh, it was the whole week. It does help. I mean, it's been so gloomy, and you just don't realize what it's like when you don't have the sunshine. And then one final thing I want to just touch on is the upcoming, really once in a lifetime solar eclipse. That's going to be coming. When I say our way, now we'll have a partial eclipse, but not a complete eclipse unless you were to go to maybe Syracuse or to the north. Am I correct with that?
Yeah, in terms of totality, it would be like Rochester and then like Watertown. Okay, that's the complete path of totality. Now, it's going to be close enough where we're going to notice a difference if we notice it at all.
Clouds.
Yeah. Because I was looking up statistically what's the weather like on April 8th, and if I recall correctly, it's like 75% of the time it's either cloudy or mostly cloudy. I'm hoping that we can have the weather we just had on April 8th for that eclipse. But I'm cautiously warning people, like, let's not get too excited just yet.
Yeah.
But I will say this, Bill, real quick. Even because we're so close to this, I mean, it would be much better if we were in the path of totality. But even if it is cloudy, we'd still notice it.
Okay.
Because it's going to get really dark.
Yeah.
And with the clouds over top of you, you'll notice a difference, right?
Yeah. We're gonna be like, why is it so dark?
Happens.
Yeah, why is it so dark? I can't believe this. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what? Maybe it's worth making a trip. I mean, if it looks like it almost really would be, wouldn't it? If it looks like Rochester or west of Syracuse is going to be clear and sunny, it almost would be like, this is like a 1 in 380 year, or whatever the number is. It would almost be like you're crazy if you don't make the trip west.
I'll tell you, probably the best place for you to do that, to view it, in New York State, I would say Rochester.
Okay.
But the best place within, say, a 5-hour drive, regionally, Erie, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Erie, Pennsylvania, right in the direct path of totality.
Very, very cool. So if you're looking
Make a trip,
see something, a once-in-a-lifetime thing, it's not that bad of a trip. So,
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. Right now, as it looks, this storm is probably not going to affect us that much. So we'll keep an eye on it. I'm sure you'll keep an eye on it. Craig
Right.
Flint, as always, thank you so much.
No problem. Take care.
Have a great day. Craig is the meteorologist at Eyewitness News WUTR. So there you go. That if it's going to be clear, you'd travel, right?
Oh yeah,
I think I would. I think it'd be an event. Take a day off, or for us, we wouldn't even have to take.
I say that
day
now,
off.
but I'm more likely to go to the Syracuse Mets game than.
Because that's going to be significant. It'll be significant there, more significant there than it is here. You want to hear a story about a piece of garbage? Oh my God!
You're not talking about Travis Kelce, right?
A high school art teacher in Canada is being accused by students and parents of selling the kids' artwork online.
What?
He would get the kids' artwork and then not return it to them, and then he would sell it online. Some pieces were selling for over $100. Now, you're talking about somebody else's work, and you're selling it.
Oh my God! And it's your students.
You're a teacher. I mean, how bad is this? Here are two concerns. Well, I guess it could be worse, right? He could be also a pedophile.
Right, yeah.
Right? I mean, and could be doing bad things to the kids. In this case, no, he's just stealing from them. Here are two concerned parents talking about their kids' work being sold. Unbelievable story. Their kids' work being sold online.
I'm extremely disgusted with this person. Unbelievable. Is this the teacher asking for certain type of projects to be done to be able to, sell them?
This is something that they did, that they put their heart and their soul in the artwork. They get an A, a B, a C, or a D on it, but he's getting $118 in his pocket.
Unbelievable. By the way, the first parent sounds a lot like Ryan Schmelz from Fox News.
Well, one sounds like Heenan a little bit, too.
It does. It does. That's wild. Anyway, the students are getting an 80 and the teacher's getting $118. Here is, and remember, he's giving them a grade. He's keeping all the money. And to think you're not going to get caught? What is wrong with you?
Some people.
Well, I needed the money badly.
I needed the money, eh?
Eh? Yeah. Here's Mike and Skyler. Good morning, Michael. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Everybody's a little slow today.
Everybody's a little disappointed. I know Mike is very disappointed.
What'd you think, Mike?
I'm watching, continue to watch the game, and I want to say it was like the fourth quarter. I think I fell asleep.
Oh, you did.
They say it was the 7th longest game in NFL history.
Wow.
Yeah. And I woke up during the overtime thinking, what's going on? Then I realized it was overtime.
Yeah.
And, I could not believe it was a very low-scoring game. But the defense was pretty good.
It was what, 10-3? First half was 10-3?
10-3.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think there was probably a bet for that being
I know. Because San Francisco, in the beginning, looked like San Francisco was going to win it, but all of a sudden it's like the tables are turning.
Yeah.
Well, there was a lot of opportunity. I mean, there was a lot of opportunity. If you have the rare chance to pick off Patrick Mahomes at the 50, and you can't score even a field goal, that's
I gotta
unacceptable.
say, I mean, think about this. All season long, it's been like that for the Chiefs, and even the Chiefs-Bills game. When you think about it, the defense was decimated. Bills' defense was decimated, and the Bills just didn't play all that well. And what happens? The Chiefs win, and in overtime with the Bills. And here we are again. Here we are again. God.
And when the interception happened with Mahomes too, he said like it was the first time in 288 thing or something. But that was a surprise. And then what did you think of the halftime show with the usher?
Okay, I got to say we have not talked about that. But listen, I think Usher is really good. Wrong person for the halftime show. Why don't we? Yeah. Okay, some other examples of artists you might know for the halftime show, based on if Usher is a good choice. And for Super Bowl 13, the Carpenters during the halftime show, because it's like that. He's mellow R&B, except for that last song.
Well,
he's mellow R&B, and it just doesn't fit the Super Bowl.
Well, and Bill, here's the thing.
I agree.
He didn't sing.
He was good in the commercial.
He didn't, I know.
He wasn't singing. He was cutting in and out of his own songs.
I know.
He had it was just a dance show. And frankly, last year you got Rihanna. She was pregnant, so she wasn't able to do a lot of the dance. But she was singing.
Yeah, that
was sounded good. Like sing your songs, man. And everybody's on social media like, that was the best show ever. If you don't like this Super Bowl show, you should be blocked. I'm like, who's watching this?
Listen, it's got to be up-tempo. You're at the Super Bowl. It has to be an up-tempo show. And that was not an up-tempo show. I don't know what you were going to say, Mike. You liked it.
Oh, what I was going to say was, it could have been better. I wasn't too excited. I did like, there was a couple of commercials I did like the Christopher Walken one. Did you see that?
That was pretty good.
That was a good spot. Yeah, that was a good spot. I mean, everybody's trying to be Christopher Walken. That was good.
Andrew, could you do a Christopher Walken impression?
Andrew?
That needs a little work, but I got to work on it.
All right.
It's rusty in the morning. You put me on the spot.
There he goes, the real deal.
Yeah. I mean, that was a good spot. I did like the Arnold Schwarzenegger spot. I thought that was funny.
With Dan DeVito.
That was good.
My other favorite one.
Yeah.
I didn't catch it then because sometimes you watch it live.
Yeah.
You miss something, but when they were when Dan DeVito was in the cinema with him, and after he saw him go in there, and Arnold Schwarzenegger goes, "You're a backstabber."
Stabber. Yeah, and then DeVito goes stabber. Yeah.
That was funny. I thought that was a good spot. So, and I thought the placement of Real Men Get Tested was it was the second local spot in. It would have been after the halftime show, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I thought it was good placement. So,
sounds good.
All right, good stuff there, Mike. Thanks, man.
You're welcome. I hope you guys have a good day.
You do the same. Thank you.
You take care.
Here we are post-Super Bowl. At least you can look at it this way. Once the Super Bowl is over, we're actually looking towards baseball. Preseason baseball is not far off. Pitchers and catchers will be reporting this week. The Masters is coming up in just a month.
I love that.
Did anybody watch the show during the daytime about the original CBS pregame show with I forgot his name now. Brent Musburger. Yeah, that was really, really good.
You are looking live.
Yeah, that was really good, and I got into all of the controversies. And how about they had the black guy
Irv Cross.
Irv Cross, and then when they
Jimmy
added
the Greek.
And Jimmy the Greek, who ended up getting booted because of the comments he made about black athletes. That was terrible. His life plummeted after that.
Oh God!
And then when they added Kennedy, the woman who was black, they were afraid to lose. Think about this: in 1978, they were afraid to lose their Southern affiliates, who would have dropped the show because there was one white guy and two black people. So they brought in Jimmy the Greek to the desk to add another white person to even it out, and it worked out. Think about that. That's the 1970s. We're worried about too many black people on camera.
It's unbelievable.
That is incredible.
You guys are also missing out on another big sporting event this weekend coming up. It's the Super Bowl of NASCAR.
Yeah.
Daytona 500.
That's right.
That's this weekend.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll be sitting in front of my TV on Sunday, rooting.
All right. Mike says, let's see here. A comment from Michael. With the person complaining about the ad, was the person complaining about the ad Lance and Lee? That's a good question. Who would be interesting for halftime that would never happen is Kanye West. Yeah, could you imagine what that show would be like?
Oh, my gosh.
But, I mean, you could come up with a lot of other people, and you'd have a better show than what you had here. It just was, in my opinion, it just was too slow.
Slow. It was mostly dancing, no singing. I mean, it was kind of nice when Lil Jon and Ludacris came out for but... I don't know. And then Alicia Keys, poor Alicia Keys, first note out of the bat, she sounded off.
I know she did. And, she barely performed. So I didn't like it. It wasn't my cup of tea.
Nope.
So, and I think you got to stay more mainstream. You got to go back to something that's mainstream. You have a very mainstream audience watching the Super Bowl. And you got to go mainstream. I don't know what they're going to do next year, but I just think they've gone off in the wrong direction, personally. Listen, country's enormous.
Yeah.
It's the number one format in the country. Country is enormous.
What did you think of Reba's national anthem?
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was bad.
I had no complaints.
No,
I didn't like Post Malone.
I thought that was kind of an overproduced, what was it, God Bless America?
Yeah.
I thought it was overproduced. For the Super
America
Bowl.
the Beautiful.
I'm a very critical person. This crap.
But
it was way overproduced.
If you had to choose a country music superstar to perform at next year's Super Bowl, who would you nominate?
I would go
Carrie Underwood?
No, Johnny Cash. I would want
bring him back.
Johnny Cash to be brought back to life.
Bring him back.
Have you seen Johnny Cash's grandson? He's on TikTok performing. You have to check it out. Just search for him. He's pretty good. He sounds a lot. He's got a voice that's very close to Johnny Cash.
Interesting.
And there's a Johnny Cash show coming up to Broadway, up at Broadway Utica.
That's
correct. I think I'll go to that show. I think that'll be a pretty good show. Okay, we have a lot to get to. We're going to talk a little bit about the possible tax increase for the city of Utica. Samantha Colosimo Test is on. We had a candidate last week talking about the evil Wiccans. We'll have somebody to get into that, believe it or not, coming up. And our free money question coming up.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica, Rome, W295DI Utica, Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
The defense secretary is back in the hospital. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and Lloyd Austin is in critical care at the Walter Reed Medical Center. Fox's Brooke Singman reports.
At this time, it is not clear how long Secretary Austin will remain hospitalized. The current bladder issue is not expected to change his anticipated full recovery. His cancer prognosis remains excellent. Now, Austin was readmitted to the hospital earlier in the day yesterday and has temporarily transferred his powers to his deputy, Kathleen Hicks.
Austin making all this public is different from last month when he didn't even tell the president he was hospitalized with complications from prostate cancer surgery, which he's apologized for. Israel has rescued 2 hostages in Gaza.
Once back in Israel, the 2 rescued hostages were flown by helicopter to the Sheba Medical Center here in Tel Aviv, where they were reunited with their families. The Israeli air support for this mission included fighter jets and attack helicopters that targeted positions across Rafah. Health authorities in Gaza say more than 67 Palestinians were killed in the strikes. Currently, there are more than 1 million Gazans sheltering in Rafah.
Fox's Trey Youngs. Hamas still holding more than 100 hostages kidnapped in the October terror attack that triggered the war. The House plans to vote again tomorrow, trying for a second time to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Republican Congressman Byron Donalds tells Fox
he's lied to the American people. Our southern border is not secure.
But Mayorkas tells NBC's Meet the Press.
We don't bear responsibility for a broken system, and we're doing a tremendous amount within that broken system.
The Chiefs repeat as the champs.
You gotta fight for your right.
Travis Kelce after winning the Super Bowl again.
Believe it, baby. I'll see y'all next year.
Kansas City beat San Francisco 25-22 in overtime on CBS. Mecole Hardman caught the game-winning touchdown.
Man, it feels great. I'm telling you, I blacked out when I caught the ball, though. So, but it feels awesome.
The quarterback who threw it to him, Patrick Mahomes, was Super Bowl MVP again for the 3rd time in 5 years. America's listening to Fox News.
If you have a bank account, pay attention. The U.S. banking system is once again under extreme stress, but there is an easy way to protect yourself. Gold. Contact Noble Gold Investments today and safeguard your family's financial future. As a thank you for opening a qualified account, they'll give you a free quarter-ounce gold standard coin. Just use the promo code GOLD. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
At Consumer Cellular, you get the same exact coverage as the largest carriers, but for up to half the cost. Same thing, up to half the cost. Up to half the cost for the same thing. 50% the money for 100% the same thing. I hope I'm making myself clear. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
Half the cost savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single-line 5GB data plan with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single-line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plan offered by T-Mobile and Verizon May 2023.
Good morning, WIBX 950 News Time, 7:03. I'm Andrew Dominio. Right now, it's 32 degrees under cloudy skies. Your full weather forecast is coming up. This update brought to you by the new Destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. More violence broke out in the city of Utica over the weekend. More specifically, on Super Bowl Sunday, police say units were called to a residence on Cottage Place for reports of a gunshot wound victim. The individual, according to police, was struck in the neck with gunfire. Once they arrived, police located a 21-year-old male victim who was bleeding. Police say he was immediately transported to Wynn Hospital by the Utica Fire Department. At the current time, officials say the victim's condition has been stabilized and he's still admitted at Wynn Hospital. Updates on his condition will be released when available. Police are still investigating, but it was learned that the shooting took place at a different location, and Cottage Place is only where the victim drove himself to and called 911. If you have any information, you're asked to call UPD's Major Crimes Unit. On Saturday morning, State Police responded to the Colonial Motel Apartments on State Route 5 of the town of Schuyler for a reported stabbing following a domestic incident. State Police say when they arrived, they located a 36-year-old male who stated his girlfriend stabbed him multiple times with a kitchen knife in the back, resulting in superficial injuries. The male was transported by Kunkel Ambulance to Wynn Hospital for evaluation. Troopers arrested 33-year-old Maria Major for assault in the second degree and other charges. She was arraigned in Schuyler Town Court and remanded to the Herkimer County Jail on $15,000 cash, $30,000 bond. House Speaker Mike Johnson is coming to the area later this month to headline a fundraiser for fellow Republican Congressman Brandon Williams. Johnson will appear at the Onondagas Golf Club located in New Hartford on February 22nd. The Post-Standard reports the tickets for the event begin at $1,000 a person. Johnson has not made any visits to the region since becoming House Speaker last year. Central New York drivers are still seeing some consistent prices at the gas pump these days. According to AAA, the average cost for a gallon of regular fuel in the Central New York region is $3.24. That's the same as it was last week and is also 7 cents less than this time a month ago. Right now, the state average is $3.28 a gallon, while nationally it's $3.18. And the Bachelor franchise is expanding again following the success of last fall's The Golden Bachelor, which led to Jerry Turner and Teresa Nist tying the knot on live TV. ABC has revealed plans for The Golden Bachelorette. Yes, the news was announced during the Television Critics Association's winter press tour on Friday. A lead for the show has not been unveiled yet, but many viewers would like to see some contestants from Turner's season get another shot at finding love. The show will debut in the fall. 7:06, your weather forecast is according to Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint. Brought to you by Cliff's Local Market. They keep you going. For today, we can expect cloud cover with highs in the upper 30s. Mostly cloudy skies expected overnight, lows in the upper 20s. Then a chance of snow and rain mixing tomorrow with cloudy skies. Highs will be in the upper 30s. Right now, 32 degrees under cloudy skies at 7:07. Sports brought to you by IBEW 43 local contractors. It is official, the Kansas City Chiefs are Super Bowl champions. Here is the final moments of the game, courtesy of Westwood One.
Up in the clock at 10 seconds and ticking. In the shotgun, Mahomes. Four-man front, receiver in motion, low snap. He runs and he throws, caught, touchdown. It's caught. Hardman caught the ball. The Chiefs have won. The Chiefs have won. The entire bench empties.
Kevin Harlan on the call there from Allegiant Stadium. The final score 25-22 in overtime. Patrick Mahomes is the Super Bowl MVP for the third time in his career. He ties Brady and Montana as the only players to win the Super Bowl MVP award at least 3 times. One of the unlucky things that happened last night, the San Francisco 49ers suffered a huge loss to their defense in the Super Bowl 58 setback. Starting linebacker Dre Greenlaw tore his Achilles tendon in the second quarter of the Niners' 25-22 overtime loss to KC. Luckily, he'll have the offseason to recover. Hopefully, he'll be back and better when the season begins. One other NFL piece of news, the Jets could be looking to make a major upgrade this offseason. According to NFL Network, Rodgers has been attempting to lure Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver Devontae Adams to the Jets. The Raiders are reportedly looking to win next season and have zero plans to trade Adams. And I believe Adams would have a better shot in Oakland, or why do I keep saying that? Las Vegas, as he would with the Jets, who finished third in the AFC East at 7-10. Syracuse basketball, I don't even know what to say anymore. They stink. They lost to Clemson over the weekend. Their next game is tomorrow against North Carolina. That final score, by the way, against the what was the score? Did you watch the Clemson game?
I watched the tail end, and then I got sidetracked. I forgot what the score was, but they lost.
Yeah, the women's basketball team pulled off an upset after earning a victory.
Yeah, they beat number 15 Louisville. Great game.
So at least we've got the Syracuse women's basketball to look forward to, I guess. Over the weekend, the Utica Comets, they had a win on Friday against Belleville at the Senators and lost on Saturday by a score of 5-3. The final 1-0 on Friday. Utica men's Pioneers hosted both of their games this weekend at the Adirondack Bank Center and got a win in both of them. 4-1 the final score on Friday, 5-2 the score on Saturday. Well, I am going back for 2 more treatments this week. So far, so great. I am very, very pleased so far with my treatment. at Revive Softwave Therapy on Genesee Street in Utica. This groundbreaking therapy, as explained by Dr. Tim Delmedico, is truly a game changer. It's non-invasive, and it's free from pills, injections, and downtime, which means with my foot bothering me and my ankle, my tendons in my ankle bothering me, I'm able to get right back to some of the activities that I enjoy. I'm trying to get a little bit more exercise in daily, and this hasn't stopped me, really. And one thing that pills and injections do, they only mask the pain. They block receptors to your brain to say that you're in pain. They don't actually treat the injury that's causing the pain. Revive Softwave Therapy on Genesee Street in Utica is actually treating your injury. It addresses neuropathy, plantar fasciitis, carpal tunnel syndrome, TMJ, and more. The treatment is swift, boasting an outstanding 90% success rate. And how does it work? Through high-speed sound waves that stimulate your body's blood flow and natural stem cells to the affected area, which, again, promotes natural healing. It's been working for me. I love it. The treatment is quick, easy, and I can notice a difference right after I have the treatment, almost instantly. If you've exhausted other options in pursuit of relief, call Revive Softwave Therapy. I'm not joking. This works. Don't let pain dictate your life when there's a solution available. You can see testimonials and videos on how the treatment works at reviveutica.com. That's reviveutica.com. Reach out to Dr. Tim Delmedico at 315-725-8427 or get that number and get in touch with them at reviveutica.com. Reclaim a life free from debilitating pain. Take that step towards a pain-free future today.
Retirement Outlook.
If your retirement account is mostly stocks or bonds, listen closely. The future of your savings may be more uncertain than ever before. Hi, I'm Paul Stone, CEO of Colonial Metals. The sad truth is, our government continues to eat away at our freedoms and security. In economic times like these, run around the flagpole by lunatics in Washington, I look to the most trusted store of wealth in human history, physical gold and silver that you own. At Colonial Metals, we specialize in helping folks with IRAs and 401ks and other retirement accounts move their savings into physical gold and silver. If you'd like a free gold investment kit, give us a call today at 820-800-8000. My team is standing by ready to rush a free gold investment kit to you. You may also qualify for $7,500 in free silver and a free safe. Call 820-800-8000 now. That's 820-800-8000.
Colonial Metals is not a financial advisor. Consult with your advisor before investing.
That's 820-800-8000.
Over $6 billion in tax refunds were flagged by the IRS for possible identity theft in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Their U.S.-based restoration specialists are dedicated to helping solve identity theft issues, and all plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which means if you lose money because of identity theft, LifeLock will reimburse you to the limits of your plan. Go to LifeLock.com and save up to 25% your first year with promo code CLAY.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash. Well, you wonder why I always
celebrate the Man in Black and his greatest song.
I fell into a burning
Johnny Cash, live on screen.
Of a sleeping city sidewalk.
Experience his legendary voice with a live band and singers.
Coming down.
Sunday, March 10th, 7 p.m., presented by Broadway Utica at the Stanley Theater. For tickets, visit BroadwayUtica.org. It's All Seasons Outfitters store-wide clearance sale. Find huge savings on your favorite brands. North Face, Champion, and select work boots 50% off. Outdoor games and baseball 50% off. Save 30% on winter boots and hunting apparel. 25% on workwear and hikers. You won't want to miss it. The savings are on at All Seasons Outfitters. See more on their Facebook page and allseasonsoutfitter.com. Your store for every season is All Seasons Outfitters.
Uncertainty, the unknown. These can be some of the greatest fears people face. There is a chance for a life of greater certainty that the Rome Rescue Mission provides. We call it a hand up, not a handout. The Rome Rescue Mission provides the basic necessities and the skills needed to start a new life. It starts simply with someone to talk to. Knowing that someone cares. The Rome Rescue Mission strives to meet basic needs, food, shelter, and clothing, but more importantly, provides emotional and spiritual support. The Rome Rescue Mission helps people start a new and promising life. Being in need is not a choice. Helping is. An unlimited future starts at the Rome Rescue Mission through your generous support. Make a difference and donate now. RomeMission.org. That's RomeMission.org. Rome Rescue Mission. A hand up, not a handout.
Shop the President's Day sale at Carl's Wholesale Furniture Warehouse for the lowest prices. Price low to sell fast, plus next day delivery and no credit needed financing.
Hello, everyone in Central New York. This is Dave Letterman, your old TV pal. Remember me? I'm supposed to say something witty and funny here about Bill Keeler, but I've got nothing. Ever see a picture of this guy? That's a joke in itself. Anyhow, here's Keeler on WIBX.
Well, good morning. After a Super Bowl that went way too long.
Yeah.
But, here's the good news. We're dealing... The late Super Bowl stuff is over.
The late football. I mean,
the late football stuff is over.
The Bills
Sunday
and
night
Green
games,
Bay,
Thursday night games, all over with.
The Bills and Green Bay had a lot of primetime games this year, which was not good for us.
Was there a promo they ran last night talking about a 3:30 start to games, 3:30 kickoffs? Or was that must have been promoting college football or something?
Yeah, it was CBS.
CBS.
CBS Sports college football, yes.
Is that what it was?
Because CBS has, this next season, has the Big Ten. They lost they had the SEC.
I see. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Anyway, that's over with. Last week we had, or maybe it was the week before, we had Fiacco, who, what's that, Davey?
Last Monday we had him on.
Last Monday. Thank you. How's that food? It's pretty good.
What are you having for breakfast?
What is it?
Oatmeal cookies?
Looks good. What is it?
What do you got?
A frosted sugar cookie.
That's awesome.
That's right. Spike that blood sugar early in the
That's
morning.
good. Those are tasty.
Now, what are those, the ones that have the softer cookie with the frosting on top? Let me see what you got over there.
By the way, I had a chicken wing with those recently. Oh, that's what they are. Wow. Yeah. I don't think I have a camera that can show that.
Exactly.
Maybe I do. Show it again.
Where'd you get those from?
Walmart.
Okay. Very nice.
Can't beat a good Walmart cookie out there.
Yeah, they're just the best. Not really. I mean, they're delicious. Okay, in studio right now is Dave Wheeler. So anyway, Fiacco, who says he's running for the Senate. He's the guy that's saying on his Facebook page, prepare, take up arms, and get ready to kill your liberal neighbors. And he said a few more things if you check his Facebook page. Fiacco has not stopped there. But one of the comments that he did make was things that are going on in our schools, that our teachers are indoctrinating our children. None of this, I'm telling you, is true. The cat pan thing is not true. If you believe it is, get out of your freaking rabbit hole, climb up and smell the real air. It's not true. Nor did Taylor Swift last night endorsed Joe Biden, although I will say
she was drinking
the Kelsey. What was she
baby
drinking?
blood or whatever.
The baby blood. She was drinking baby blood.
She chugged it when they
And
went to her on the screen.
I do think after the win, she came down with the Kelsey family, and if you look very carefully from above, the way they were standing, they formed the word Biden. If you look, but you got to be looking overhead. You had to be looking from the blimp.
And they came from the left, too.
And they
so.
That's right. Way left.
Yeah.
Way left. Anyway, one of the things that he did say is that...
well, he got in a confrontation, so he went on a podcast or some Facebook show. I don't know who. I'm not familiar with it, but
is
he
this
got
the
in
Wiccan
an argument with a woman who was what do they call it? A priestess of the Wiccan faith?
There's different names for it. So yeah, a priestess.
Yeah, or something like that.
Can you frame him up too?
Oh yeah.
So you'll see it right there. Anyway, the which has gotten we've gotten reaction from people who do practice Wiccanism. Do I say that?
Yeah, you said it right.
Is that proper? So, Dave Wheeler, are you a Wiccan?
I'm learning about it more.
Okay.
I kind of in between Wiccanism and Hellenism. It's called
Hellenism.
So that's like the belief of the Greek. What the Greeks still celebrate. They celebrate the gods. The Romans did that too. You use that blended with Christianity in a way.
You are a like a tarot card guy.
Yeah, so I do psychic
that
readings,
sort of
mediumship, tarot, all that fun stuff.
Your family gypsies? I mean, is that where it comes from? No.
Literally no one in my family has any
Okay, just checking.
any part of it.
All right. So, all right, explain what and that's the whole thing. When you hear Wiccan, it's like, ooh, this is But you're saying that this is not explain.
So a lot of it is just dealing with nature, energy, positivity. So people hear it and they think, oh, witches and devil worship and all this, because that's what the media has for movies. And,
Right.
I'm not going to say there isn't any bad people out there. Like it's the same.
Sure, yeah.
The Muslim religion's a perfect example. Not all Muslims are extremists, right?
Right.
So the same thing with this.
Not all Christians carry signs that say God hates blanks.
Yeah,
exactly.
Gay people, right?
Yeah. So Wiccanism really at its roots is just really worshiping nature, taking advantage of energy, crystals, and
so like a Herkimer diamond thing. You might, if you believe
Dan Aykroyd.
He may be right. He may be
They channel it for. They use the Herkimer diamonds because it's got positive energy.
He used this in a very negative way, saying this was evil. It's and you're saying many Catholics or Christians would practice some sort of Wiccanism.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you looked at the Bible itself, Jesus was a prophet in the Bible, right? That's just a different name for the term for that time period versus now. And it's funny, as I heard him, and I feel like you guys are like the campaign with Will Ferrell in here sometimes with these people. Like, you're the backbone of America. And I heard him just going on the rant about the whole liberal neighbor thing and then into this. And I'm like, there's nothing. I've never met somebody. I've been doing this for about 15, 16 years. I've never met one person that does anything negative when it comes to Wiccanism.
Right.
It's all
evil.
Helping it's helping the community out. Those are the people that are volunteering at the Boilermaker. They're your neighbors that own businesses in this area. And it's again, people don't talk about it much because there's that stigma still in our society about it.
Right. Is there a book of Wiccanism? Is there? How do you?
Yeah, there's all sorts of great books. I was just at Barnes & Noble last night and I bought a book. It was like introduction to winter stuff. There's all sorts of literature about it, all sorts of positive stuff. There's a lot of great videos on YouTube that you can learn about it free.
So give me an example of someone who is a Wiccan and what they might do.
Say someone's sick, like they have a cold. It's just like remedies of nature almost in a way. So instead of buying cough syrup, you're making a potion, if you will, or whatever, of different herbs.
Natural remedy.
All sorts of it blends natural. It's not crazy natural remedies because I think there's a line of, people that are over the top with it, but it's just a way to heal and use Earth's energy to help yourself out.
So my mother would, whenever I get, I would, for a while there, it seemed like I was losing my voice every year because we talk for a living, right?
Yeah.
So you get a really bad cold, and all of a sudden now, so she has this concoction of apple cider vinegar, honey, and maybe something else. and you would drink that, like a couple of teaspoons or teaspoons of that, and that would supposedly help. That's kind of like a potion type thing.
Yeah, and it's like instead of saying like you say prayers, they call them spells. It's not real. It's not Harry Potter spells. It's just
so that's where the people get nervous.
People get all freaked out when you see.
We also knew a Russian who would take a bottle of vodka, and he'd fill it with blueberries, and then would put the vodka back into the bottle, and it would have to sit for 2 or 3 weeks.
Yep.
And his whole thing is, you drink this when you don't feel good, and you'll feel good.
Oh, I'm sure you will.
I did that in high school. I didn't know it was a Russian.
Well, the blueberries.
I did it with cherries. You put cherries in a jar and you let it sit for a month or so.
Well, the antioxidants in blueberries are supposed to really, really help. Now,
there was a kid in my dorm who...
The problem is the antioxidants in the blueberries are good. I'm not sure about the antioxidants in vodka.
I had a kid in my dorm. He'd fill a bottle of vodka with marijuana. And I guess that would extract some of the...
Oh, well, they're doing that today, right?
They're doing it, yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever drink it?
No, not me. Come on.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
He's a straight arrow.
All right, so people should not be worried about Wiccanism.
No, I think it's just we live in a time where we can educate ourselves on any sort of faith, any sort of belief, and there's so much information out there to disprove that it's evil. And I've never heard one scenario where a teacher is teaching this to kids. Like my kids go to school, and I've never heard them come home and go, "Oh, Daddy, look, I got tarot cards." Like even like I have tarot in my house, and I'm not sitting there preaching it down my kids' throats.
We forget that teachers, almost all teachers are parents too.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, and they have kids, and they're worried about the same things that everybody's worried about. It just, again, I hate to say, but it's a rabbit hole thing.
Yeah, and it's a very, I mean, from what I know, again, I've only been really reading about it for the last year, getting involved with that part of it. It's mostly positive. It's mostly embracing positivity, embracing people that you're around, embracing positive energy. I haven't read one thing that's like, here's how you can make your coworker fall down a set of stairs. Like there's nothing like that.
When you find that,
please let us know.
I was going to say, we have a few names we could add to that list, right?
Yeah, just let us know. All right, Dave Wheeler. Dave is on Light 98.7 down the hallway. So, all right, thank you, man.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Have a great day. Continue to recover post Super Bowl. Are we going to do the Super Bowl woman?
Yeah,
do we
take
have
a quick
that?
break.
All right, let me break and we'll come back. Sheila Rondo is a marketing strategist. Will give us a wrap up on the best commercials from last night. You know, it's not like the old days. I really feel like the old days, there were great commercials. They would debut during the Super Bowl. That doesn't happen anymore. At 7:27 at WIBX.
Shop the President's Day sale at Carl's Wholesale Furniture Warehouse for the lowest prices. Price low to sell fast. Plus next day delivery and no credit needed financing.
Looking for a new career? Liverpool Pool and Spa wants to hear from you at their brand new location on East Dominic Street in Rome, where they're hiring full and part-time installers, service techs, and retail sales with plenty of room for advancement. Good pay, great work culture, and just a fun place to work. It's more than just a job, it's a career. Plus, you get to create people's backyard oasis. They'll train the right people, and you can apply in person at Liverpool Pool and Spa, 1501 East Dominic Street in Rome. Don't just dream it, live it.
Why get an updated COVID vaccine? If you're 65 or older, a COVID vaccine can keep you out of the hospital. And if you have heart disease, a COVID vaccine can help you stay healthy. With COPD or other lung diseases, getting a COVID vaccine can keep you off a ventilator. Anyone can get severely ill from COVID. But some people are more at risk. Know your risk and make sure you're up to date on your COVID vaccine. A message from the New York State Health Department.
Adirondack Home Furniture's Flex Steel Big Game Sale is going on now, but only for a limited time. Hurry in for discounts up to 15% off select sofas, recliners, occasional pieces, and leather furniture. With hundreds of designer fabrics to choose from, your new piece is guaranteed to have the look you want. Stop dreaming and start creating the home of your dreams with quality, long-lasting Flex Steel furniture from Adirondack Home Furniture. Beauty and comfort is made to last with Flex Steel's exclusive lifetime lifetime warranty Blue Steel spring seating. Stop into Adirondack Home Furniture today and save up to 15% during their big game sale. Visit their Flex Steel gallery for the best selection of Flex Steel furniture on sale. The best value and top quality furniture for your home is at Adirondack Home Furniture. You don't want to miss out on the Flex Steel big game sale at Adirondack Home Furniture. Hurry in, sale ends soon. Located at the former Riverside Mall, Horatio Street, Utica.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, we're back here, and Super
And
Bowl
we're
commercials,
back.
and we're back. Super Bowl commercials last night.
Mostly terrible. No,
we had a local spot. Real men get tested for cancer, and it was meant to be kind of funny, and we used the governor in the commercial. The governor will probably react to that today, and we used AI, and it sounded just like her.
Yeah, it did.
And even looked like if you didn't catch it,
if you were watching it on mute, like or at a party where it was kind of loud or
Right.
whatever, you
You didn't
may
know.
have believed it was her.
Yeah. And in fact, somebody did. It's like, I can't believe you used the governor. Can't believe you affiliated with her. Well, if you really look at the spot, we didn't. Okay, I'm just saying. I had a few favorite commercials from yesterday. And on the line right now, her name is Sheila Rondo, and she is the CEO of MOG, MOGXP. It's pronounced MOGXP. Should have read that first. And Sheila's on the line now. Good morning, Sheila.
Good morning.
So, long night, right?
It was.
God, I hate these late games.
And it went into overtime. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, if Moody only kicked that extra point.
Yeah. So, do you have a favorite commercial from last night?
You know, I had some that I liked. I think the ones that we're going to remember are going to be the Beyonce breaks the internet and the J-Lo and Ben Affleck. Those are the ones people are going to be laughing about and talking about.
I thought it's so
And,
funny because the ones that I liked are two different ones. I thought the Arnold Schwarzenegger
Yeah, the
spot
State
was
Farm
good.
Arnold Schwarzenegger
That was
was
kind of
good.
funny. And then was there another one? What did you think of the Robert Kennedy throwback?
Yeah, that was interesting.
Boy, when that commercial ended, I'm like, there goes $7 million. Boom, just like that.
I didn't feel like it really gave us much information.
No.
It didn't leave us wowed, and for $7 million, it needed to.
Yeah, and you know what? It was a one and done. I mean, it ran one single time. So, you know what I noticed was missing, and maybe I just didn't see it. But was there any Budweiser last night?
Yeah, there was.
Oh,
There was a Bud Light
There
and a
was.
Budweiser one.
Okay. I didn't
There
pay
were.
much attention, I guess.
It was the Clydesdales.
The
They brought the
Clydesdales,
Clydesdales
okay.
back. They did a really nice job of it. It was nicely done, although it is the cut-down version. The full version is a much nicer spot.
Oh,
It tells
okay.
the story.
Tell me.
And that's what,
Yeah, go ahead.
That's what we see for the Super Bowl,
Mhm.
is that we don't see the full ad.
So that's the new
they do
thing.
they tend to do the 30 second instead of the 1 minute, and the 1 minutes are usually the story where it really unfolds.
And even in the promos, so Jim Nantz came out of break, and they do all the brought to you buys, and he even said for one of them, go to the full Allstate, or it was State Farm, go to the full movie. So there's, I guess, directing people online to see the full commercial or full movie for the State Farm commercial.
I find that I did sign up for the Quicken $1 million giveaway.
Oh yeah.
Which means I will now just get a bunch of emails from Quicken.
Yeah.
And then what did you what can you explain to me the Oreos? What happens when you twist the Oreo? I didn't understand that.
That was supposed to be your decision maker. If you twist
Right.
the Oreo and there is a clean twist, and depending on what side your twist is on of your of your filling is what your answer should be.
Okay. All right. If it wasn't a clean twist, that would be no. And if it was, it would be yes. Okay. All right.
And there were a couple of those where if you didn't catch the very first words of it, you didn't get it. One of them was the Uber Eats, where if you forget something, it's because you put something else in your memory in its place.
Yeah, with Jennifer Aniston. Yeah, that was a pretty creative spot.
It was, but if you, in a Super Bowl party with lots of people talking, it didn't stand on its own without that first sentence.
Rudy says the YouTube TV commercial about the NFL ticket was good with the flying players.
Yeah, when that was the bird watcher, Eagles, Ravens, and Seahawks.
Yeah.
Unless you're in a room with a bunch of people who don't like those teams and they're all yelling and screaming at it.
Right.
So, I mean, Sheila, if you were, advising or consulting companies on how to make an effective Super Bowl commercial, what would you tell them, and which of the spots from last night kind of hit the mark based on what you would consult on?
Being authentic. They have to come out and be true to who they are. Google Pixel did a beautiful job of it. They told what their product did through something that was a little bit emotional. They did it very nicely. Kia did a nice job. The J-Lo and Ben Affleck, Duncan's is kind of tongue-in-cheek, and they pulled that off really nicely. The Verizon commercial with Beyonce got everyone's attention. Nobody left to the room. They all stayed to watch it through.
And to your point, it kept reiterating the point of, is Beyonce breaking the internet? Nope, that didn't do it. So if you missed some, like to your point before, if you missed the first part of the commercial,
I missed it.
Yeah, if you missed the first part of the commercial, you could still understand what was going on.
Absolutely. And again, it's about being authentic, talking about your product. Does your commercial ladder back to it, or does it leave people scratching their head wondering what it was about?
Yeah.
And we had some of those last night. That when you got done, you were like, okay, so what was that about?
Yeah, and I like even the again, if you weren't completely paying attention, that's where I was completely lost on the Oreos spot. And by the way, you're either in a hotel room where there are people sleeping, or
you're really
in your
tired.
home, you're trying not to wake people up because you're talking very quietly.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be
That's
so
all right.
quiet,
I'm just
neither.
Neither. All right. It's just,
She had a late night.
All right. So
like we did.
Then Mike is right. I love her voice. She sounds like a librarian. That's what he said. So there you go. All right. So on a compared to other Super Bowls, how do you rate this one in terms of commercials?
Lukewarm.
Lukewarm.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
I agree.
Completely with you on. I'm glad to hear you say that. So, all right, great stuff, Sheila. People can search MOG XP, MOG XP, to learn more about Sheila. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Bye. Bye. Sheila, kiss her. I just think it was shh, quiet in the library. Kind of library-ish, right? A little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah,
I think. Although I was picturing her like me in the hotel room, and I can't do it. I gotta talk like this. So next week, one of our shows next week, I'll be out of the area and doing it from a hotel room, and my wife will be in the room at the edge of the bed, and I'm like, you got to put a pillow over your head because I have to talk like I can't talk like this and do a radio show.
Yeah,
all right. But she has a really good voice to do that. Good call on that, Mike. She sounded just like a librarian. I agree. All right. It is Monday. The Super Bowl has passed. The stupid Kansas City Chiefs have won.
Those sons of...
Mahomes with his stupid haircut.
And
I don't even
Kermit
like
the
it.
Frog voice.
Was able to pull it off, and you just knew he would. You just knew it.
Hate him.
You just knew it. Anyway, let's do our free money question of the day from the Hobica Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobica. Davey, what is Joe's giveaway today? What are we talking in terms of dollars today?
$100.
$100. You've been spanked, haven't you? He came after you, didn't he?
You've been peddled.
He yelled at you, didn't he?
I guess that's what he
That's
told
what
you.
we're hearing, yeah. He wasn't happy. You tell Davey. He's on my blank list. Starts with an S.
Ends with a hit.
Ends with an L. Snowfall. He's on my snowfall list.
He's on my poop list.
That's exactly what he was saying to you. So you're sticking true to, you've been intimidated, and you're going with $100 today.
I'm the nicest guy. I don't want to get on anybody's
You're right. That's
hit
true.
list.
Because you never know when you're going to get a ticket and you need his help.
Yeah.
All right, let's go with $100 to start off the day. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully you won more money last night with all the betting. Billions of dollars are spent
Billions and billions.
on people gambling today, and I didn't realize the significance of the Super Bowl being held in Vegas. It never dawned on me, but as I was watching the pregame, turns out the reason it's so big is because the NFL has embraced gambling. And there was a time when the NFL would never consider ever an NFL team in Vegas. But today, because of the affiliation with gambling, it has there's a marriage there. So kind of interesting. And a lot of money was spent. A lot of people did a lot of gambling. And football is over. You know, the next big gambling event coming up is March Madness.
Oh, yeah.
Which is just around
the corner. You could bet on the Masters, too. A lot of people like to bet
I guess. It's all just around. You can bet on anything, I got to tell you.
Bet on NASCAR for Daytona 500
I guess you could this
Sunday.
weekend. All right, let's do $100 on the line. Hobica's free money question of the day. And it is, what caller you want to go with? What do you want?
Caller 8.
8th caller through the lines right now. Chance for you to win. We'll go through some comments. I have a bunch of them. We also have Fiaco's Facebook page and some comments, criticism of him with some of his buddies. And that's kind of an interesting group. We're going to talk about that just a little bit. Also, Utica's potential double-digit tax increase. We'll get into that a little bit. So caller number 8 right now, 315-736-0186. Your chance to win from Hobica and WIVX is next.
I love being part of AmeriQ Credit Union, where I share my dreams, my goals, and my challenges with those who know me best, where I stay connected no matter where my life takes me. And financial solutions are designed with my best interest in mind. Create a meaningful connection. Visit AmeriQ.org to learn more and open an account today. AmeriQ and you. Let's connect. Membership eligibility required. Insured by NCUA.
Don't be left out in the cold this winter. Call Tri-County Heating and Air Conditioning for your free furnace estimate. Smart folks choose Rude, energy-efficient heating equipment for their home. Call Tri-County Heating and Air Conditioning at 315-829-4100, 315-829-4100, or visit their website at tri-countyheating.com. Turn that thermostat down with your Rude, high-efficiency furnace and stay warm this winter. 315-829-4100 or tri-countyheating.com.
You've put off getting a new bed. You really want a new bed. Let's be honest, you probably need a new bed. Kevin Fear from Mattress Express, and I have the answer for you for the new year. Any purchase in the store, $1,500 or more, qualify and sign up and get up to 60 months to pay with no money down. Don't give us a nickel. You heard me right, up to 60 months to pay, no money down. That includes our full lineup of massage chairs. And, yes, it includes Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Purple, Puffy, the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort, Posh and Lavish, and more. You can get pre-qualified at mattressexpressny.com. Look for the 15-second Express Credit app. Stop into any store. No appointment necessary. We'd be happy to qualify you in store. And you can call 1-800-NEW-BEDS. See store for details.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel, évidemment. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABBEL.com. Start learning a language today at Babbel.com.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. There are a lot of great dads out there. Sometimes those dads get divorced. For more than 30 years, we've represented men in divorce, confronting the pitfalls that could devastate your finances or harm your family relationships. While every situation is different, our goal is to get the best outcome for you and your kids. Visit CordellCordell.com to take the first step.
518-554-0000. 100 Great Oaks Boulevard, Suite 110, Albany, New York, 12203. Online at CordellCordell.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Hocus Pocus. Oh, one of my favorite songs right there. One of my favorites.
From the Wiccans. No.
I swear, we're still drunk from last night.
Not me. I'm drunk on anger.
What kind of a name is Cody? That's my nephew's name, actually. Is that my... nobody does... who is that? It was... what kind of a name is Cody?
Oh, I don't know.
That was... Kathy Lee and
Regis. Regis. Yes.
Here's Mike and Skyler ready to take a shot at Habaika's free money question of the day. Good morning, Mike. Good morning.
Good morning. Seems like I just talked to you.
You're back. Good morning. Good morning.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go with your chance to win the Habaika free money question of the day. The question is, are you going to be able to pull it off? Here is your question. You'll have 7 seconds to answer. The halftime shows at the Super Bowl didn't used to be like this. It used to be marching bands and Broadway shows.
Right, yeah, it was very...
It was nothing.
Carnival-like.
Until 1991, when this pop sensation group, 1991, performed at the halftime show. Who was it? Ready, go.
Backstreet Boys.
He's on the right track.
Is that?
He was on the right track.
You were.
Homecoming's Instinct.
A little earlier.
1991.
Those Kids on the Block.
Yeah.
Oh. Kind of undone.
Yeah. I mean, you knew it too. I mean, you were close. You were close. You were so close. But no cigar for you. No cigar.
You're right.
All right, we're going to give you the Utica All-in-One Food and Fun card. A lot of stuff going on at the Odd. Hockey, lacrosse, soccer, women's hockey championships coming up in April. It's going to be enormous. World Olympic. Team USA will be playing here. It's going to be incredible. And we'll give you the $50 or $25 gift card to go to Aquavino 72 Babes, Taylor and the Cook, and the concession stands. Okay?
Okay, sounds
All
great.
right.
Thank you very much.
Stand by, Davey's got to get your info. Good talking to you, Mike. Good morning. Have a wonderful day. By the way, to give you an idea, performance at the Super Bowl. New Kids on the Block in 1991. 1990 was Peter Fountain, Doug Kershaw, and the Nicholas State University Marching Band. I mean, this is what we're talking about. It was terrible. Although they did do a 50s show in 1988 with Chubby Checker, who played along with the California State Marching Band.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it was all marching bands. And then I think they had a group called Up With People. And they were, but again, it was more like something you'd see at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Yeah, right.
But the New Kids on the Block were the first to really
And that's
be
when
like
they-
a big pop sensation to come in. They made it big. And then the next year, it was Gloria Estefan who performed.
Yeah.
And then they did a hockey thing or a figure skating thing. Dorothy Hamill was skating. I mean, it was kind of a big thing. But the big one, the big one, was in 1993, and I was there. I was there for this. It was part of my radio contract back then.
Mm-hmm.
It was Michael Jackson in Pasadena, California.
So
at the Rose Bowl, the Bills losing to the Dallas Cowboys significantly.
Matt and Holland Patton actually was commenting this morning a couple things. First thing he said, Whiteface Mountain having an eclipse event, not sure what the totality is there, but it's a beautiful area. And then he followed that up with one of the best shows was Michael Jackson.
It really
I think,
was.
but lots
Yeah.
of good ones. Like
Yeah,
when
there've been a lot
his
of good
sister revealed her boob to the world.
That was big.
With Justin Timberlake.
Yep.
That was one.
And I thought that I thought Springsteen. I'm pretty sure
Springsteen was
big.
very good.
Tom Petty. I love Tom Petty.
Yeah, the Who one year.
That was huge.
Coldplay did one year.
And, then there was Last Night. I just didn't like it. All right, we have a bunch of comments. Then I want to get to Will Fiacco and have you read some of this. Dick in Deerfield. Historically, Utica City budgets and tax increases have been proposed by mayors who blame previous administrations. And then they'll threaten a big double digit, and then they'll lower it. We'll see what happens. Sir in Utica, Poland's finest. Great job, Terry, who was on the slide guitar. I'll post that later today. John and Marcy, I commented this saying a few weeks ago after the Bills loss, but it is this game that will be known as the Bait and Swift game. That's now 2 Super Bowls. San Francisco snatched defeat from
the Jaws of Victory.
The Jaws of
against
Victory. I can't see his whole comment there. I don't know that it worked out quite that way. But, man, they kept an eye on her, right? She was all over the TV last night.
Made me sick to my stomach.
But you know what? She brought people.
They say
she
122
sold
million
more
contributed
jerseys.
to the NFL.
Her contribution, just her being involved, that was huge. Matt and Holland Patton, one of the best shows. Michael Jackson, you said that. John in New Hartford, the missed extra point. Yep. And then is it John? Who's in Boonville? John in Boonville. Talking about there's a comment somewhere talking about the amazing, the curious case of the Grace woman.
Oh, yeah, Natalie Grace.
Natalie Grace. The curious case of Natalie Grace, the little person. He said, I cannot wait for season number 3, and I feel the same way. We got to find out what's going on. What in the world happened in that series? If you haven't watched it yet, it's going to blow your mind. You have to watch season 2. Don't just watch season 1. It's unbelievable. Here's John in Bridgewater. Hi, John. Good morning.
John, you there?
Hey, Andrew.
Yep.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Hey, Bill. How you doing?
Good. How you doing, man?
Hey, I know who's not dragging today, and that's me.
You went to bed. You didn't even watch
I
it.
didn't watch. Bill, I went to bed around 6:30, turned the TV on, and my wife woke me up at midnight, and then my alarm went off at 4. So I missed everything.
Good. You're better off.
So,
you are better off. You really are.
Nice 10 hours, and I caught some bits and pieces this morning, and whatever it is.
Yeah,
what it is. So
it is what it is.
All
Emma
right, well,
Holmes.
it was fun.
Yeah.
I guess.
You got to watch the best parts, and you just saw it like in replay, and boom,
you saw the inside of his eyelids.
I did catch part of the halftime this morning, and what?
Yeah, not
never
for.
mind.
Listen,
Yeah. So,
I forget the fact that it's Usher's probably not my cup of tea.
I like Usher, and I was very disappointed.
The Super Bowl halftime show should not be down tempo or medium tempo. It's got to be an up tempo and exciting. You're in a football game, and this was just a downer to me.
I didn't see it, so I'm not going to say nothing on it.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
So, hey.
All right.
Have a great day, guys.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, Bill.
Will Fiacco made some comments on his Facebook page.
Yeah, so he just continues to make waves on social media. Davey had pointed this out to us. I don't follow the page very closely, but there is an interesting dynamic of all the opponents of I think with the exception of Mr. Myers.
So Myers is going against Blankenbush.
No. So Myers is the guy that Austin Paddock will be primarying for Griffo's seat.
Right. He is the military guy.
Yes.
Okay. Well, then there's the guy that's taking on Blankenbush.
Who's also a military guy.
All of them seem to be, at one point, they were friends with Will Fiacco.
Yes. Paddock.
Some of them are Democrats. Some are Republicans. Some were Democrats and now Republicans. It's almost like they all got together and they're like, there's this public financing aspect.
Lonnie Coons.
Lonnie Coons is going
Republican
against Blankenbush.
is primarying Blankenbush.
Everybody else is primarying is vying for Griffo's seat.
So Austin Paddock, who's the Democrat who's going to be in a primary with Jason Myers, and I could be mistaking his first name. I apologize.
They're Democrats.
They're Democrats that will be in a primary to take on eventually
ultimately Griffo. If they all get signatures.
Yes. So Mr. Coons, Mr. Paddock, and Will Fiacco, all three of them used to be in one group that was a common ground type political group that were looking to, be somewhat, they were all, different parties, but they were kind of in the middle trying to, come to common ground on certain issues, right? Well, now Will is on the out. Paddock and Coons seem to still be in some sort of an alliance, even though they are in different parties. So Will Fiacco did post something, including a link to Paddock for Senate's website. And it says, and I'll quote, "Got another challenger. This guy is a sick pervert. I knew him through a former friend. He is a gay man married to another man who dresses in women."
I think we have to be careful with what he's saying there.
These are Will's words.
I understand, but I think just repeating it. I do know that. So he was the guy who was the truck driver who said he was
correct,
openly gay, and he's married to Just be careful. That's all I'm saying to you.
Well, yeah. This is Will's words. Then he says this is Will's claim is that he's an advocate for polyamory marriages.
I don't even know what that is.
I looked it up when it's somebody that's it's a relationship that's also where two partners are willing to have other partners involved and everything like that. And then he makes another accusation as being a third party with somebody. Well, I won't get into it. You can go to his Facebook page and
and read it. I'm surprised Facebook has left that stuff up.
And then he says, "Yeah, the times are evil, but God will have the last say."
Yeah. Yes, he's a very big. But I'm not sure he was always that way. That he was always so Christian right.
Will
Fiacco.
According to others, he was very far left at one point.
So it's really quite interesting, but that all of them knew each other at one point. And
We're
they
in a
all
similar
were
group.
in a group together,
Yeah.
and now they're all running. What I find odd is, out of this whole thing, is the four of them were all together at one point, it seems. And now they're all running for the state Senate seat.
with the on the heels of this
public
tight campaign
finance. So the deal is for every dollar you raise, you get $12. So you could walk away with like $120,000 in public funding if you're able to raise like $10,000.
Yeah.
Which
is insane. I'm sorry.
That's taxpayer dollars that are paying for this.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to get into here, but it's going to be a very interesting race. We'll talk more about it coming up next hour. Stand by.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica Rome, W295DI Utica Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
Israel gets 2 hostages back. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, rescuing them in a raid in Gaza.
We understand that the Israelis overnight taking part in this mission in the densely populated city of Rafah just before 2 a.m. local time. On the second floor of a building, Israeli soldiers engaged Hamas gunmen in a firefight before securing Fernando Marman and Luis Har.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv says the 2 are in good condition. Among those, Hamas kidnapped in October, triggering the war. Officials in Gaza say that Israeli raid also left 67 Palestinians dead. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin back in a hospital, but this time we know about it. Unlike last month when he didn't even tell President Biden he was hospitalized for complications from prostate cancer surgery.
In a statement, the Pentagon is telling us after a series of tests and evaluations, the secretary was admitted into the critical care unit at Walter Reed for supportive care and close monitoring. At this time, it is not clear how long Secretary Austin will remain hospitalized.
Fox's Peter Ducey also reports Austin's transferred his duties to Deputy Kathleen Hicks. Chiefs fans are celebrating. That's from a watch party in Wichita when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl in overtime, beating San Francisco 25-22.
The whole family of Kansas City and Chiefs Kingdom is special.
Patrick Mahomes threw the game-winning touchdown pass, leading the Chiefs to a 3rd NFL title in 5 years, and he's been MVP in all those wins.
I can't ask for anything better than this, man. We're Super Bowl champs, Kansas City. I'll see y'all at the parade. Let's do it, baby.
The parade will be Wednesday. Now, before the game, President Biden put out a video on X complaining about a grocery store trend called shrinkflation.
Some companies are trying to pull a fast one by shrinking the products little by little and hoping you won't notice. Give me a break.
He called on them to stop doing that. Now, there's a new ABC Ipsos poll showing 86% of Americans think the president's too old. Days after the special counsel report did not recommend criminal charges for mishandling classified documents, in part because the jury might be sympathetic to a man with poor memory. America's listening to Fox News.
If you have a bank account, pay attention. The U.S. banking system is once again under extreme stress, but there is an easy way to protect yourself. Gold. Contact Noble Gold Investments today and safeguard your family's financial future. As a thank you for opening a qualified account, they'll give you a free quarter-ounce gold standard coin. Just use the promo code GOLD. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Hello, America. It's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you don't have Consumer Cellular yet, now is the perfect time to switch and save. For a limited time, new customers can get wireless service for as low as $15 a month for your first year. Yep, the same exact nationwide coverage as the leading carriers for $15 a month for an entire year. What are you waiting for? Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com and use code RADIO15.
See consumercellular.com/firstyear15 for promotional details.
Good morning. WIBX 950 News Time, 8:03. I'm Andrew Dominio. Cloudy skies, 32 degrees. Your full weather forecast is coming up. This update brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville and by Adirondack Home Furniture. Utica police investigating a shooting. Utica police investigating a shooting that occurred last night on Cottage Place. At least that's where the 911 call came in from. Police say units were dispatched to Cottage Place regarding a gunshot victim who was struck in the neck. Upon arrival, they located a 21-year-old male victim who was immediately transported to the Wynn Hospital. At this time, his condition has been stabilized, and any updates will be released. Through the investigation, it was learned the incident likely took place at a separate, at this time, unknown location, and the victim proceeded to drive himself to the residence on Cottage Place prior to the call to 911. Officers are currently investigating Anyone with information is asked to contact the Major Crimes Unit at 315-223-3556. On Saturday morning, state police responded to the Colonial Motel Apartments on State Route 5 in the town of Schuyler for a reported stabbing following a domestic incident. Troopers and EMS arrived and located a 36-year-old male who stated his girlfriend stabbed him multiple times with a kitchen knife in the back, resulting in injuries. The male was transported by Kunkel Ambulance to Wynn Hospital for evaluation. Troopers arrested 33-year-old Maria Major for assault in the second degree and other charges. She was arraigned in Schuyler Town Court and remanded to the Herkimer County Jail. House Speaker Mike Johnson is coming to the area later this month to headline a fundraiser for fellow Republican Congressman Brandon Williams. Johnson will appear at the Yanendasas Golf Club in New Hartford February 22nd. The Post-Standard reports that tickets for the event begin at $1,000 a person. Johnson has not made any visits to the region since becoming House Speaker last year. Utica Rome drivers are still seeing some consistent prices at the gas pump these days. According to AAA, the average cost for a gallon of regular fuel is now $3.31. That's 3 cents lower than last week and is 3 cents less than this time a month ago. Right now, the state average is $3.28 a gallon, while nationally, it's $3.18. And if you're a couple named Travis and Taylor, it may have been your lucky weekend. The Chapel of Flowers in Las Vegas was giving free weddings to couples named Taylor and Travis on Sunday. The wedding chapel made the announcement as Taylor Swift's boyfriend, Travis Kelce, and his team, the Kansas City Chiefs, took on San Francisco in the Super Bowl. The chapel is by the Strat Hotel, Casino, and Tower. WIBX 950 News Time 8:06. Your weather forecast is according to Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint, brought to you by Cliff's Local Market. They keep you going. For today, expect cloudy skies with highs in the upper 30s. Overnight, cloudy skies continue with a low in the upper 20s. Then a chance of snow and rain tomorrow. Cloudy with highs in the upper 30s. Right now, we're at 32 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. It is 8:07. Sports brought to you by IBEW 43 Local Contractors. Well, here is the call from Westwood 1.
3. Lining up in the clock at 10 seconds and ticking. In the shotgun, Mahomes. 4-man front. Receiver in motion. Low snap. He runs and he throws. Caught. Touchdown. It's caught. Hardman caught the ball. The Chiefs have won. The Chiefs have won.
The Kansas City Chiefs are officially a dynasty after becoming back-to-back Super Bowl champions, something that wasn't done or has not been done in the last 19 years. The Chiefs defended their title after coming from behind in overtime to beat the 49ers 25-22 in Super Bowl 58 Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. Patrick Mahomes is the Super Bowl MVP for the third time in his career. The three-time Super Bowl champ came up big through the air on the ground in the Kansas City victory. He also led the Chiefs in the run game with 9 carries for 66 yards. Mahomes joins Tom Brady and Joe Montana as the only players to win the Super Bowl MVP at least 3 times. Also in the NFL, Aaron Rodgers looking to try to lure Devontae Adams to the Jets next year, but that's unlikely as the Raiders are reportedly looking to win next season and have zero plans to trade Adams. I think he'd have a better shot with Las Vegas as opposed to the Jets, who finished third in the AFC East at 7-10 and has the 10th overall pick in the 2024 draft. Local hockey, the Utica Comets split 2 games with the Belleville Senators. They won on Friday at Belleville by a score of 1-0 and lost on Saturday by a score of 5-3. Utica men's Pioneers victorious over the weekend in both games, hosting Alvernia University at the Adirondack Bank Center Friday and Saturday. Friday, they got the win 4-1, 5-2 the final score. On Saturday, Syracuse men's basketball, they lost to Clemson.
Davey, talk about, they tied it up with like 2 minutes left.
They were down 18.
It looked like they were going to win the game.
Yeah.
And then they just...
Gerard took over.
Joe Girard actually looked pretty good.
And they couldn't shut down that big man that Clemson has.
No.
Benny Williams is a factor in this offense with him being dismissed from the team. They got a low bench as it is, so they have no. Their Judah Mintz and Starling is playing like 45 minutes. And that that guy Taylor is his name, that white guy. He can't even shoot.
Syracuse, I think it's pretty easy to say Syracuse will not make the tournament.
No, they're going to go to NIT.
Yep. And by the way, if you're keeping track, Utica Pioneers men's hockey.
Yeah.
They play their final 2 games on Friday and Saturday night at home. There's a 7 o'clock game Friday, and then Saturday they play at 2 o'clock playing Arcadia University. Their final 2 games of the regular season this weekend before the playoffs start, conference playoffs.
And
I
think they clinched with Stevens.
They won over the weekend. Yeah. So it's amazing how quickly we're moving through. But before you know it, the conference, UCHC conference playoffs begin the 21st, and then March 9th is the NCAA tournament. So a lot of things moving very, very quickly. I want to tell you the official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Espresso, lattes, iced coffee, breakfast sandwiches. Their bagels made fresh every day. Their donuts made fresh every day right there at Daylight in New Hartford. And that's Seattle's best coffee. It is so very good. Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. And portions of the program brought to you by River Hills Properties. Number 1 real estate agency in all of Central New York for independent agencies, and if you include the chains, they're number 2. This is all about the services that they provide. They do so much more than the average real estate company. In fact, when my wife and I were looking to sell our home, we wanted to make sure the listing agent would be there when the house was shown. The only agency we could find to do that was River Hills. And we sold the house in less than a week. It was the right move. I highly suggest if you're looking to sell your home, River Hills Properties is the way to go. Why wouldn't you list with anybody else? They have offices in Barneville, Little Falls, and Utica. Online, it's riverhillspropertiesllc.com. Call 315-896-1009. Nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties. Before we break, I want to go to councilperson Samantha Testa, who is on the line right now. And Sam, good morning. We're talking about the potential of a 10 to 17.5% property tax increase in Utica. What condition did Paul Mary leave the city in?
I mean, when you lower taxes during election year, I mean, this is honestly not a surprise to me. I mean, obviously everyone's like, Sam votes against Paul Mary. It had nothing to do with that. It was the fact that I knew every single budget he presented. Obviously was coming with the potential of leaving a huge deficit.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't spend the money you were spending without at least raising taxes or finding other ways to generate revenue. I mean, I think that, the last time he raised taxes was maybe 2018. 2019 he lowered taxes the year that he had the extension of his term limit. And then, his budget deficit ran from 2019 to 2024 at about $14 million.
The general thought was we kept being told that the city of Utica had a surplus.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that was a surplus. That was always money coming in. I don't know if it ever was a surplus. I mean, did we actually have cash in that account? I mean, I asked for numbers, quite a few times, even in the last year, and never received those, that information that I had requested. I had a FOIL for information. I mean, he spent $64 million in ARPA, and $5 million went just, I think, the ice skating rink.
Are you saying that you blew the whistle on this over and over again and no one listened?
I mean, I hate to be right on this issue, but I mean, how many times could I, sit there and say something was wrong and, being told I was being political? I mean, it's it's a little scary, to know that there was, and I will say this, I think his extension of getting those extra 4 years was a true detriment to the city for the simple fact that he had, the entire council doing what he wanted. He had his administration doing whatever he wanted. And I think that was a huge overreach of power within his own self of nobody saying, hey, Rob, maybe this was, a little bit wrong of what you were doing.
So
even with the paving project, the paving alone, he left the contracts open. I think, there was $12 million spent, with one paving contract in the year of 2023. It's like, how did you not follow the charter? Did you not take vouchers with you?
Yeah.
And that's the problem I have is that, you had people on the council that knew that this was going on and chose not to do anything. And I think that's the overwhelming majority.
And that is a question. So Bill Morehouse made a statement on Friday. Do you have that right there?
I don't have it right on me, but I can look it up. But in the meantime, I'll paraphrase. He did say something along the lines of trying to. Here he said, I couldn't agree with Bill Moore. This is when we were talking about.
Well, what I had said is there should have been some incremental tax increases to prevent the scenario where you have to raise taxes with double-digit increases.
Bill, if you know that let's say, for example, your police department salary line is $10 million, and you give 27%, pay raises over the course of those years, you know that your budget's going to go up. It's common sense. And to not
somehow revenue has to come up.
Revenue's
got to come up.
The revenue at some point in time has to come up. And I think that again, you look at the money that was spent in the past couple of years, you might have had that, that budget deficit. If you didn't spend $8 million extra in paving one year, that could have been again supplemented in the meantime. And I haven't seen the budget yet.
Here's the rest of Morehouse's.
Well, yeah, and Galimi has said that once he releases his budget, he will come on, but not before. There was two things that Morehouse said that addresses kind of both things that you're talking about. His first comment was, when you overspend police and fire, when contracts go up substantially, police and fire and other unions, when materials in some cases have doubled, contracts are more expensive. Retirement costs money. State aid has not gone up in 18 years. If state aid increased $5 million, 0.02% of the state budget, that would take care of the 17% tax increase. Then he blames the state. He also said, I couldn't agree with Bill Moore. We pushed the mayor very hard for 2% every year. He wanted 0%, and he wouldn't do it. At the end of the day, he was the CEO, but not any longer. Remember, our main source of revenue is the people property tax that goes along with home ownership.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree with Bill. I think state aid is a huge problem. But again, he still overspent, a majority of the time. You can't just tout a $14 million surplus and then come with a negative, $14 million, and the year you're no longer in office. And I think that's a huge problem.
And then how do you not, the ARPA money, and I get it, the ARPA money had to go into very specific places. However, you can get creative with it. Say you're working on a big capital project. There's a way to be able to say, okay, we're going to put some money over here, save money there, and there's a way to use that ARPA money strategically, and I think that was done in Rome. I do not believe it was done in Utica.
No, it was horrible. If you look at our infrastructure alone, we did tours of the police departments, fire departments. Number one, the fire department, you have people that live there for 24 hours, okay? 7 days a week, there's somebody stationed at those houses. I wouldn't let my dog sleep at some of these houses. That's how bad of a condition that they are. And guess what? The city spent $64 million on dog parks and skate parks, and those are in better conditions than the infrastructure that the city owns still. And so nobody can sit there and say that the mayor spent that money responsibly by any means, because guess what? We still have to foot the bill at the end of the day for the project that, we should have finished inside the city first on the city standpoint of the responsibility that we have for infrastructure. That should have been taken care of before any additional stuff. Because guess what? Now you have, I think I saw it in the preliminary budget, but like the ice skating rink, now we have to station that and have somebody there. I think that's an extra, $150,000 to $200,000. I could be wrong on those numbers to actually, take care of that. I mean, look at all the parks that have to be, taken care of, all the additional spending. I mean, I don't even think that like
part of the problem is you're adding a dog park, you're adding a skating
water
park,
slide.
You're doing all of this stuff when the current parks that you have are not being taken care of. That is major problem.
Right. And we have the biggest park system inside the city, and we still have the same amount of people after that was diminished. I think we did a tour of the DPW facility, and I think Dave said he was at like 39 guys. I think it takes like 20, I'm totally wrong on these numbers. I know I am. I'll use this as an example. Say he has 40 guys, right? It takes like 38 guys to run a route for DPW. I mean, so we get a snowstorm for 2 or 3 days. You're not going to have anybody left to plow the city because you've got nobody to manage that. And I think that Palmieri was obviously let's be. If he played the lotto, I'm pretty sure he would win it because of the simple fact that he had that whole time he was in office, just money coming at him, in different aspects, and just didn't have the wherewithal to spend it with any common decency, in my opinion. And again, and I talked about this, with you guys over the past several years. It's not that I was against skate parks. Yeah, who doesn't want a skate park? But when you have a financial responsibility to take care of the things that you have in other aspects, it should have been taken care of first. And then whatever was left over, then you take care of that.
Here's
look at the city. Look at the city of Rome too. I mean, and I'll give this as an example. The city of Rome just had a grant that they just got approved for their skate park. So here we are spending ARPA funding when they're getting, our sister city is getting grant funding for a skate park that we spent $2 million on. I mean, it didn't make sense.
By the way, the governor is going to be at Herkimer College today, right? And I believe Herkimer the village of Herkimer is about to get a big chunk of money to be able to make improvements, like $10 million coming their way. We'll see what the governor announces, but that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I mean, in the village of Herkimer, I don't know how much money they got in ARPA funding, but like, who would look at the city of Utica and say, "Hey, we're going to give you an extra $10 million" when you just spent $60 million and didn't spend the money?
And I think
that you spent correctly.
DRI money that Herkimer is going to be looking at, but I think that announcement will come today. We'll see what happens. Mike saying, and by the way, later in the week we'll be speaking with 2 former mayors. I want to get their take on this. But Mike says it almost, now Dave Raffaello will disagree with this. It sounds like Palmieri took a page out of the playbook of Raffaello, leaving the city close to bankrupt. How would you comment on that? And I know Dave will vehemently disagree with that.
And here's the thing. You got to remember, Dave Raffaello was there for 4 years, okay? Dave Raffaello didn't have a 12-year administration to sit there and cover up. You had expenditures in healthcare. You had expenditures in retirement plans. I mean, Palmieri knew what he was doing. If he ended 4 years ago, we wouldn't be having this conversation because you would have had a new administration in there that maybe could have had that oversight. Palmieri in 2019 didn't have this problem. It was his extra 4 years that really caused him, the chaos that this council is going to have to deal with because he had no oversight. I mean, think about it. He had a council. I think maybe up until the last time that Eddie Bachero ran, I think that was the last time, he had a council that actually, cared. They didn't get rid of committee systems. They actually sat down, talked with one another.
Yep.
I mean, the mayor depleted the council. In his last 4 years of the administration. Let's set that record straight for the simple fact that we didn't have committee meetings. No, I mean, look at how many times they changed Genesee Street. There was no talks about that. I think the last council meeting that we had, we spent more time talking about, whether or not you could smoke marijuana in public places than we did changing Genesee Street 4 times. So, I mean, again, you go back to, if you really look what happened in those last 4 years, it was a detriment to the city, and like I said, to have $64 million in, for Galimi to get in and realize that there's a $16 million or 16 possibly 16 to 17% tax increase. I don't think Mike Galimi wants to pay more taxes by himself, knowing that the city had that much money and chose to just waste it away.
Sam, we'll do it again. Thank you.
Well, John in Bridgewater had one more question for her.
All right.
And you may not know this, Sam, because, you're at large, so maybe you do. He asked how much money was it for the not roundabout over on Whitesboro Street, whatever they did to change the layout of the street there by the Psych Center?
So that was done with ARPA funding through an individual council person. And I think that, so they had $200,000, I think, to spend, per person. So, I mean, it had to be any of the range from $0 to $200,000 because that was done with this ARPA funding.
Okay.
And that's another thing, too, that's infuriating. I mean, I sent emails, I think, back in 2023 saying, hey, council, can you guys send me a list of what you guys plan on doing with your $200,000? And it wasn't until, I had to FOIL information and actually pay money to actually find out what a majority of the council is actually doing.
I got to say that one of the things during Jackie Izzo's run against Lanigan, the criticism of Izzo, was look at what Utica's doing. They're giving the council a chance to be able to put together their own projects, and versus what Jackie Izzo did, and that came out of the mayor's office, strategically, very strategic,
Spending
and
that
then
money.
asking for the approval of the council. And guess what? Which would you rather be, Rome or Utica? Folks, I wouldn't want to be Utica. I'm just telling you.
Because for the simple fact that, it was really weird, because, number one, so, Corporation Council works for the administration, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, we're an individual body. So, I'm doing my legal work on my own, and I'm, looking at the city. The city's given us, DNA transfers for ARPA funds. And I'm thinking to myself, why am I approving ARPA transfers when I wasn't even, included in the original money that was allocated for this, And then I'm like, time out. I'm not transferring any money. So then you could say, oh, well, the council transferred money to that account. So they had, had a say in what money that was spent. So I'm like, no, I'm not transferring any money, And then Corporation Council sends us a letter and says, well, you know what? Sam was right. I mean, that must have killed them to actually admit that I was right. For fighting me for so long on so many things. But it was it's mind-boggling.
But there's
what
no
was
doubt.
happening right in front of us.
There's no doubt you loved it.
I loved it. Oh, 110%.
No doubt. All right, Sam, I hate to cut you off, but I have former Mayor Rob Palmieri on the other line. So.
Oh my God! Do you really?
We
this
do.
Be the first interview in
What?
Let
me leave you on the line, but be respectful, okay? All right, here we go.
No.
Former Mayor Rob Palmieri, good morning. Thanks for coming on, Mayor.
Well, good morning,
Oh,
Bill.
oh my God. Davey.
I knew it was too good to be true.
What the hell are you doing in there?
You want to know what? Stefan actually paid more attention to the city finances than
I think he did. I think he did, which is why we have him on.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. Stefan was there.
He was always there at every meeting. So, all right, Sam.
You knew what was going on.
You have a wonderful day. Thank you.
All right, Sam.
All right, take care.
Go
All
Bills.
right,
Go Bills. Okay. Good morning, Stephen. You got us, Stephen, this time. You totally nailed us on this one.
Good morning, Bill. Now, very good job with the Super Bowl commercial with Tim Reed and Governor Hochul. In that Super Bowl, the 49ers had a chance to throw the knockout punch, but never did, and the Chiefs pulled it out at the end.
What a shame, right? What a shame.
Yes.
God, I did not want the Chiefs to win. Well, what are you going to do, though? What are you going to do? That's the problem. That stinking Mahomes finds ways. He finds ways to win. It's unbelievable. So, and by the way, one mention Mike had here, and it's worthwhile to mention, I believe, a worthwhile comment here. Kind of interesting that Gerard scored his 2,000th point while at the Dome right at the end of the game on Saturday. And there wasn't a mention of it, to my knowledge. But he had 2,000 points, and he scored it in the Dome. He did say, by the way, he will always bleed orange. However, not Saturday.
Yeah, well, Clemson also, their colors are orange
That's
and
a good
purple,
point.
I think.
That's an easy way to get away with it. Right?
Yeah.
All right, Stephen. Well, thank you for the hopefully the message out there on the commercial. It was meant to be funny, but really it was meant more than anything else to send the message that that cancer is real. Early detection is extremely important, and make sure you get tested. So there you go. You liked it. You were good with it.
Thank you, Bill.
Okay, thanks, Stefan. Have a great day.
Bye, Bill.
Goodbye, Mayor. Goodbye now.
Goodbye, Mayor. Goodbye.
Okay. All right. No, that one caught Davey. You caught us off guard on that one. Got a break. Hold tight. It's 8:29 on WIBX.
Shop the President's Day sale at Caro's Wholesale Furniture Warehouse for the lowest prices. Price low to sell fast. Plus next day delivery and no credit needed financing.
Rev up your savings with Steep Ponte Chevrolet in Herkimer. Picture yourself behind the wheel of the powerful 2024 Chevy Silverado. Enjoy financing as low as 2.9% for 72 months, or a rebate up to $6,000 on select models. Looking for adventure? Take a ride in the 2024 Trailblazer LS. Lease it for 3 years with 10,000 miles per year for only $329 a month. Don't miss out on these incredible offers at Steep Ponte Chevy. You are trusted family-owned and operated dealership. Stop by and see why it's always easy to do business at Steep Ponte Chevy, or visit their complete inventory at steeppontechevy.com. Chevrolet, together let's drive. For lease and financing offers, customers must qualify for top-tier credit through GM Financial. Silverado offer on select models. Must have a 2010 or newer Chevrolet trade-in. Lease must have current lease in household. All taxes, fees, and first payment due on delivery. See salesperson for details. Must take delivery by 2/29/2024.
At MVHS, our team members fell in love with care long ago. Their lives were changed, and their world has been expanding ever since. In respect, compassion, knowledge, and ability. And it's only just begun. Because fueling the future of care starts here at the Wynn Hospital. Local care on a whole new level. The Wynn Hospital. Unwavering commitment and compassion. Learn more at mvhealthsystem.org. This is for you. The first steps taken in the Wynn Hospital are the first steps of a care experience that stands apart. One where compassion can always be found, where teams are trained to serve you well, and where cutting-edge technology is always at the ready. Because here, you not only receive state-of-the-art care, you have a distinctive care experience, one that is all about your comfort in a healing environment. Welcome to the Wynn Hospital.
Looking for a new career? Liverpool Pool and Spa wants to hear from you at their brand new location on East Dominic Street in Rome, where they're hiring full and part-time installers, service techs, and retail sales with plenty of room for advancement. Good pay, great work culture, and just a fun place to work. It's more than just a job, it's a career. Plus, you get to create people's backyard oasis. They'll train the right people, and you can apply in person at Liverpool Pool and Spa, 1501 East Dominic Street in Rome. Don't just dream it, live it.
Shop the President's Day sale at Caro's Wholesale Furniture Warehouse for the lowest prices. Price low to sell fast. Plus next day delivery and no credit needed financing.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Couple of comments here that we can get to on the phone. 315-736-0186. On the Utica budget, Roger, good morning.
Yes, I'm not trying to take Mr. Palmieri's side, but where was the controller in all this? I mean, doesn't he see the numbers? The numbers are in front of him. He's supposed to add and subtract, don't he? And Mr. Rafaro, I mean, not for nothing, with the Pileman, with that contract, didn't you have to pay Pileman a chunk of city taxpayer money and plus the Longo settlement? I mean, come on. Why do they all point fingers? Why don't they try to settle something? And the consul people, they sat there. All right, this one that was just on, she sounds like she was looking into things, but could she have looked a little bit deeper? I mean,
well,
like,
she
was. Hear no evil or what?
No, she was very actively calling this stuff out.
That.
And the comptroller said, the comptroller said he tried to urge Palmieri to do a 2% increase every year, and he was ignored.
Yeah, but did you see the discrepancy? Number one, he should have seen and brought the attention a lot sooner than now.
Well, he could have. He could have gone public. There's no doubt about that.
Right, he should. We should get him on and see what he's got to say.
We're working on it,
okay,
Roger. And the other thing is, I want to talk to Rafaro and talk to Tim Julian, get their take on this. There are ways to run these budgets so you don't get stuck with an emergency can happen. But this is not that. This is mismanagement, and
maybe we should try to get Palmieri on.
Well, we have been trying to do that for a long time, even when he was mayor. But
I mean, maybe they're trying to snub him out before he tries to run for something else. I mean, politics is awfully dirty.
Listen, we'll dig in. We'll dig in, Roger. Thank you.
Okay,
All
thank
right,
you.
Thanks so much. Lucy, is this Lucia?
Hello, yes.
Good morning,
Hi,
Lucia.
Bill.
Good morning.
Bill, wow, you did a beautiful commercial on that. It
oh,
was
the,
for an excellent cause. Excellence is the word.
Thank you so much. For Real Men Get
To
Tested.
invite all the people, oh my God, it's incredible, really.
Well, thank you.
Great.
That was very nice of you to say. Thank you.
Great. Well, no, it is what it is, not because I'm saying it, because it is.
Well, thank you.
Anyway, excellent work. Yeah, I wanted to congratulate you on that.
All right, Lucy, thank you so much. Great hearing from you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You do the
Bye.
same. Thanks so much. Lucia watched her first Super Bowl last night.
Are you serious?
Yeah, she did.
Wow.
And I told her,
Wow.
root for the 49ers. Root for the 49ers.
Yeah. Weren't we all?
Fred F. Collins & Sons, heating, cooling, and insulation. Nearly or over 90 years of service to this community. And boy, do they have us covered, and they have you covered. In the coldest of the winter, in the hottest of the summer, they have you covered. If you need help, you need service, they're always on call. And right now, take advantage. I believe we worked with Ryan, and we did the free energy. This whole they come in and take a look at your home, and look at all the different areas where you might be wasting money. For us, this energy audit that they did showed that we had light bulb issues. We had some areas where there was insulation, and we had a furnace that was getting older. Now, this was during COVID, and do you know that 2 years later, the furnace conked out, and it was old enough where they were not, the company that manufactured the furnace was not redoing parts. It's not like those old furnaces of yesteryear. Today, it's about efficiency, and we ended up having to replace the furnace. It was predicted by Collis 2 years before it happened. Fred F. Collis & Sons, they'll come in. There's no obligation. Their free energy audit will help you in areas where you might be wasting money. And, boy, wouldn't it be great to just save money on your energy bill if you could?
It would.
Call them today. Fred F. Collis & Sons, 315-860-1301. They will take care of you like nobody else. 315-860-1301. Quick break before Scott. Hey, Scott, can you hold on a second? We'll get right to you.
Sure, absolutely.
All right, man. We'll talk about some Super Bowl, and I think Scott had a big betting day yesterday. Did really well out of the Turning Stone with the Super Bowl. And we'll talk about some of his prop bets and where he made his money. Coming up, it's 8:37 at WIBX.
For a limited time at Mattress Express, qualified buyers will get 60 months to pay on any purchase $1,500 or higher with no money down. That includes all brands of mattresses in the store and massage chairs. See store for details.
Nobody does a President's Day sale better than Carl's Wholesale Furniture Warehouse. Nobody. This is the sale when Carl's lower than anybody. Low prices go even lower. On sofas, sectionals, and reclining furniture, dining sets, bedrooms, and the lowest mattress prices you've ever seen. Everything's priced low to sell fast. Carl's has it all in stock, ready for fast delivery. Plus, no credit needed special financing. The time to buy new furniture is now during the President's Day sale at Carl's Wholesale Furniture Warehouse.
Hey, Jen. OMG, look how busy it is in here. How'd you get all these customers?
Yeah, this month has been a record breaker for us. For a long time, we had decent business coming in from word of mouth, but we weren't growing. Lately, though, a lot of new folks have been finding us online, and that's made all the difference.
That's terrific. I wish I could figure out how to do that for my shop, but I have no idea where to start.
Just do what I did. It's not as hard as you'd think. Go to mylocalcustomers.com to see exactly how many searches there are for businesses like yours.
Okay, then what?
If you see that there are a good number of clients searching in our area, you'll also get some suggestions for the best way to get their attention.
Do you think there are a lot of people searching for my business?
There's only one way to find out. Go to mylocalcustomers.com. It's quick, easy, and free.
Go to mylocalcustomers.com for a free local customer analysis that will show you how many customers are searching online for your type of business. It's quick, easy, and free. Visit mylocalcustomers.com. That's mylocalcustomers.com. SeizTheDeal.com.
Get ready for this week's half-off Thursday deal with SeizeTheDeal.com. Score your half-off gift certificate to Babes at Harbor Point this Thursday morning starting at 8 a.m. Get $50 for $25 with Seize the Deal's half-off Thursday. Babes at Harbor Point is the best brunch spot in town. Bottomless mimosas and a full brunch menu from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. And, of course, lunch and dinner 7 days a week with great apps, burgers, and entrees. Visit them at BabesUtica.com. Get your half-off Thursday gift certificates this Thursday from Babes at Harbor Point. Hurry, they sell out fast at SeizeTheDeal.com.
Sneezing, coughing, stuffy nose, runny nose, postnasal drip, interrupted sleeping. I was groggy at the end of the day.
Allergies and sinus congestion were making Jana miserable. Then, a friend recommended Navage. Navage provides immediate drug-free congestion relief, flushing your nasal passages with refreshing saline and sucking out mucus, germs, and other airborne irritants. Navage helps you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel your best right away.
Navage gave me instant relief. I didn't have to wait 30 minutes. I didn't have to wait an hour, 90 minutes. I didn't have to wait a minute. I ran the rinse and I felt better.
Stop suffering from congestion and start breathing and feeling your best again with Navage. Navage.
I've had people ask me how I find relief, and I tell them Navage immediately. This thing is amazing.
Navage is available at Navage.com or at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid.
Attention taxpayers. If you or your business owe the IRS back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, the IRS has green-lighted billions of dollars in tax relief to those facing financial hardship through its tax relief initiatives. If you have a delinquent tax problem and possibly facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or already in a payment plan, you may now qualify for significant relief. Qualifying and enrolling in this program could stop all collections, settle your tax problem, and may even reduce what you owe by up to 99%. Call the hotline at Tax Help USA to see if you qualify by dialing 800-212-1585. If you or your business owe at least $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS or state, you can now get the help that you need during these hard economic times. Call Tax Help USA to get your free tax assessment to see what you qualify for by dialing 800-212-1585. 800-212-1585. 800-212-1585.
At Mattress Express, get a queen flex head bed with adjustable base and a set of sheets for $14.99. Qualified buyers get no money down and up to 60 months to pay. A flex head bed is where each head goes up and down independently, but it's still one solid mattress. See store for details.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Well, good morning after the Super Bowl. Wow. We're just talking about Collis and my furnace. Mike says, your former furnace was so old, the door where you had Allison load the coal was broken, and you can't get that part anymore. Yep, that's true, Davey. That's true.
That's good.
Yeah, that's Mike. Jake on the line here this morning. Jake, good morning.
Good morning.
What's going on, Jake?
Your commercial was the best because it means something.
It does mean something. You're absolutely right. It's so important.
The best.
Well,
I promise you.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. And I hope, there's a little chuckle there, and, that was the goal. So we were really happy.
No. That was cool. I really enjoyed that. I was waiting for that, too.
Well, that's cool.
And I said, there it is.
It is.
That's great.
Awesome. Well, Jake, thank you very much. And, it's so important to get out there, and early detection is really what saves lives. So, all right, cool.
Absolutely.
Good stuff.
Listen, I told my daughters, I went over there, I had supper with them.
Yeah.
And, of course, they had the game on, and we were talking and then watching the game. I wasn't interested in the Super Bowl anyway. Yeah. But
I don't blame you.
I told them if Kansas City's in the Super Bowl next year, I don't want to watch football anymore.
Yeah, the Bills must eliminate them next year. Eliminate them next year, please.
I got to tell you right now.
I hope so.
God. They lost to the Raiders.
Do, and I'm a Dolphin fan.
Yeah.
But I want to see Jake in there. Josh Allen win a Super Bowl for the Bills. And
well, listen.
Let me tell you something, Jake, okay? The AFC West next year, okay, you're going to have the Chargers, which is now which they're now have the head coach of Jim Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have a Raiders team that has rallied behind their new coach, Antonio Pierce. Denver's probably going to be a wash. But Kansas City's not going to have an easy run in their division, first of all.
And by the way, Denver actually played much better this year
Towards
than
the end of the
anybody
season,
thought.
yes.
Yeah.
So they're not going to have a cakewalk as far as in the division this year or next year. The Raiders beat them in the regular season the last time they played. So I think the Kansas City, they got lucky a lot of times this year. And and last night they got real lucky, too.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you got to give them credit. They won. They're going to be the
won.
Super Bowl champs until next year. But they're not as blowout team as I mean, look at all the ones that the Patriots had. They had commanding wins in the Super Bowls.
Right, right.
Not this.
I was so disappointed, Bill.
I know.
Kansas City won. It really bothered me.
Me too.
Trust me,
it really did bother me.
I felt the same way, believe me. So, well, Jake, thank you. You make my day today. Thank you so much.
Have a great day, guys.
You do the same.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
And remember, real men get tested for cancer. Right, Davey?
Yeah, I'm going Friday to the doctor.
Yeah, your pre-visit for the colonoscopy.
So
right?
they'll make an appointment that day?
I believe you'll do the consultation, and then they'll make an appointment.
Hopefully they push it off until spring.
Yeah, give you a little while.
Yeah.
So, all right. Here is Scott in Kirkville. Scott is a big handicapper, and let me tell you something. I don't know if you've been noticing. I watched that whole thing on the CBS halftime show and where that all began, and with Jimmy the Greek, and that was all very, very interesting. I got to tell you though, Scott, I think your handicapping is better than most out there.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's there's some luck, obviously, in that last night's game. I've been on both sides of the luck, and what I like is sometimes it's trying, and it's the hardest thing, especially come Super Bowl. There's so many props, it almost stuff gets hidden.
Yeah,
and you have to keep going back and back and back, and some stuff gets added late because they got to make sure that the players are playing, and it kind of worked out the way we thought it was going to work out. By the way, I took a chance. I didn't think it was as big of a chance, but I figured indoor stadium that they can't kick it in the end zone for the opening kickoff. Then it's going to be a long day for the kickers, and so right off the bat, it's like we said.
That was a prop bet. That was
do the coin flip. And I'll do the kickoff.
I got to tell you, it looked like they were kicking off and kicking field goals.
I know a lot of them went through the upright in that stadium.
Like that's just unbelievable. And the whole thing where the longest Super Bowl field goal was like 54 yards.
Yeah, and they both broke it, and then Moody couldn't kick an extra point.
I know. Weird. But
the weird part is Mooney was having troubles all year.
Mm-hmm,
I mean, even against your Packers, I think Andrew, he had some problems.
Except for our kicker was even worse.
So I felt like the setup was there for. I just put a little thing in there that was the Chiefs would be trailing at the half,
right?
And they would and it would
come back and win,
and it would tie at the end of regulation.
Wow.
That was the bet, and that.
What were the odds on that?
So that was 49, 3,500.
Way to go!
Wow.
To one. So a $100 bet was worth $3,500.
Well,
so
here's one for you. I remember I said
$1 bet.
Yeah,
put $1 on that. Why not?
Anytime scoring would have got you $80,000 for a $100 bet. You took those four players, and one of them was McCaffrey, which I knew he was going to score. That was kind of obvious. But the other three. The one that scored the last touchdown, for him scoring a touchdown was plus 1,200.
Yeah, what's his name there?
I don't know.
In fact, he was on the Jets earlier. They got rid of him. He played against Tampa Bay. I remember because I remember doing a prop with him.
Cole Hardman.
Over-under was a catch and a half when they played Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl.
I got to tell you though, the betting world, whether you're betting sports, although people like you can do it for a living, but for the average person, there are so many different things that can happen. You can't when you lose, you can't be angry that you lost. You shouldn't ever be angry that you lost because you've lost the moment you put the bet down. You've lost. Now maybe you'll win. Maybe you're going to get lucky and win. But the average person, the odds are already so far against you I see some people get so angry. It's like, what are you getting angry for? You should know the loss is coming, and maybe you'll get lucky and get a win. That's kind of how to look at it.
Well, when I wrote fortunes for the Chinese fortune cookie company, one of my fortunes was patience is a virgin, and it was right up there with.
You're on fire.
At first you don't succeed, you might want to get up skydiving. But you have to be patient in doing this. Thank you.
Yeah, and you got to know what you're doing.
Patient because it's you don't have to bet like this in-game stuff is all totally different now because you know for the start in the game that's just a fictitious number. Whatever happens in the game is going to decide what the line should be. Now, if you're a Kansas City fan, you wanted what happened. You want them to get down 10-0 because that line probably Kansas City at one time was probably getting 7 points. Now there were 2 points to start with, and if you're the over/under person, you wanted that first half only 13 points because that thing dropped to 37, 37.5, 38, and you wouldn't have gone over or for that standpoint. So you got to be patient and you can't be selective.
So
now, Super Bowl is all different. Like the prop bets I told you about. In fact, I got to check on Purdy's make it official, but his over/under is 12.5 yards rushing, which I heard. I got him at 13, but it's got to be official, and I got to stop because it takes sometimes the whole night to make sure that there isn't a yard you go and especially something like that with a lot of money on it.
Yeah.
And I knew Mahomes was going to take off. I mean, that's his MO. His was only 24. McCaffrey was a given. His yardage was only 34 yards receiving, and against Detroit it was 42. Well, why weren't they going to use him more in the Super Bowl than they were against Detroit? That made no sense to me. So there's a lot of prop bets that you can look at, and his is over 4.5. The only one I really lost, the two we kind of lost on, was Deebo Samuels. It looked like he was hurt for most of the game.
Yeah.
It looked like he just didn't have the explosion. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, and the over/under 2.5 touchdowns by Kansas City. But if you remember, a week ago when I was on your show when they started doing the props, I said you better get in now before it moves.
Right.
The over 23.5 for Kansas City. So that kind of washed it out from that standpoint. So that kind of blocked it off. But interesting about the strategy of the game. The first three quarters kind of remind me of the Music City, Radio City Rockettes. 1, 2, 3 kick, 1, 2, 3 kick.
Yep.
And it just didn't allow. I don't understand why this didn't unleash Mahomes earlier. I mean, they learned from their lessons. That third and a half a foot they ran up the middle, and when they're trailing, they didn't get it. I go, why are you running up the middle when you got Mahomes?
I got to say, though,
they ran Pacheco twice up the middle, got to the 4-yard line. I'm waiting. That play that won the game, if they ran that play at that particular time, first and goal, they would have scored a touchdown, got up 4. Maybe there isn't any overtime. But they learned from their lesson because the first play when it was at the 3.5-yard line in overtime, what did they do? They ran that pass play and won the game.
So I thought it was very interesting. You mentioned live betting, and I have a friend that's big on the apps, and he bets football, bets basketball, but bets using doesn't take a bet before the game starts. He places his bets during because
the odds change, and sometimes you get huge odds.
Well, listen, what he told me is last night when it went to overtime. And the 49ers were marching down the field. The odds, so then you can pick who's going to win the game, who's going to win in overtime. And he said the odds when the 49ers were marching down and they got inside the red zone, the odds went up to plus 250 for Kansas City to win. Yeah. So they end up then, the 49ers stall, have to kick the field goal. It went down to like 125, plus 125.
Lock it in quick.
He placed a $1,000 bet at plus 250, and that's what he won. You believe that?
Like I said, it's a fictitious thing. Basketball is better.
Live, though. Yeah.
For example, it was like Meatloaf. Michigan State's Kathy won. Michigan State and Gonzaga beat Kentucky. Of course, Syracuse lost, so 2 out of 3 in bed.
I know.
But during the Kentucky game, I'm a Gonzaga fan. Dave knows it. Gonzaga somehow is a 10-point favorite or 10 points lead at halftime at Kentucky. It originally was 4.5 minus Kentucky. They're the favorite. They got us plus 8 points in the second half. And I'm a Gonzaga fan. I took them. I said, if Kentucky's got any pride, they're going to come back on Gonzaga. They lost by 4. So therefore, if you took Kentucky to start the game, you lost. But if you took them when they were trailing by 10, you won.
All interesting stuff.
The lines change that much, especially in college basketball. I would never bet a game before the game starts in college basketball. You got to bet during the game because 20-point leads are incredible, but you can lose a 20-point lead in a hurry
very quickly. All way too far over my head. I'm just telling you, Scott. You're good at it. You know your stuff.
I actually have given some crash courses. I was up at Dar Largo, got some people I do consulting. It's a whole different ball game. This never would have happened. I mean, last week you talked about local bookies. This would never happen maybe 15 years ago.
No, it's a whole different world. Quickly, Kathy with a question for you. Kathy, you're on with Handicapper Scott. Here we go.
Hey,
Hey,
Scott,
Kathy.
my boys won. They did real good over Illinois.
I tell you, good comeback, huh? Hey, did you see her?
I thought they were
Did you see old
lose,
school?
but they pulled it off.
Yeah.
You know,
Did you
this
see old school?
weekend,
Hold on, you both can't talk at the same time. Let him talk first, Kathy. Then I'll trigger you back in. Okay, Scott, go ahead.
Yeah, I thought the biggest play, Kathy, if you watched the whole game, is old school Izzo when his player shot a three and started barking at the opposition's bench and caught a technical. He came right on the court and straightened that thing out, and from then on, it looked like they meant business. So big win. That's a top 10 team, and they actually needed it.
And Kathy, what's your question for Scott?
well, this weekend I'm starting to keep an eye open for the Derby favors, so I'm looking at No More Time.
No More Time.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was watching over the last week. They had the Wizards and the Southwest.
We're getting
and a couple things, guys, about horse racing. If you want to go to the Belmont up at Saratoga, I think the tickets are on sale now.
Wow, that's going to be amazing.
It's only a 4-day event. It's not even part of Saratoga. They're only coming up for 4 days.
Yep, that'll be really cool. Well, listen, Kathy, thank you. Glad you had a win. Nice job.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Goodbye now. And Scott, as always, my guess is you walked away with some money this week.
Yes, indeed. I mean, I can give you all the prop bets I won and a couple I lost. Like I said, the big one was Samuels and the 2.5. But I even took Elijah Mitchell, which no one knew if he was going to play or not. His over/under yards was 3.5. I think he had 2 carries for 7 yards. So I mean, there's like stuff like that these little obsolete stuff, and even Watson. For Kansas City, had some big catches. So you play a lot of prop bets.
Yep.
You don't play in there. But 2 things. I got to get together with you guys or Davey because, I made a donation on my parents' name for the Wheels on Wheels and
thank you.
Food on Bank. But because I hit the over 23.5, even though the 2.5 was actually the bet to get more money, I'm going to add some to it because that kind of canceled it out. So we all can meet for lunch at Rockies and maybe in the next couple of weeks or maybe beginning of March, and we can take care of everything. Have lunch on me, and
good stuff.
We can make money for the charities. How's
All
that?
right, Scott. Thank you, man. Congratulations. Have a great rest of the week.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much. Boom. At Steve Putty Mazda, their new Mazda sales event is back. Drive a new 2024 Mazda CX-30 Select Sport model for only $297 a month on a 36-month lease. How about that? Or save with low APR financing of 0.9%, 1.9%, or 2.9% on select award-winning new 2024 Mazdas. I'm driving the CX-90. Love it. See the dealership for details. As Rick says, let's make your deal on a new Mazda, where it's always easy to do business. Steve Pani Mazda.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Évidemment. Babbel. Language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Start learning a language today at Babbel.com.
All right, I got to say here, Andrew, we spoke with meteorologist Craig Flint earlier this morning from WTR, and here's what he told us. It looks like the storm is going to the south for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, which means we may get a little, some light snow, but that's it. Not much. Full details are coming up.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica, Rome, W295DI Utica, Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
This time we know about it. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin back in the hospital in critical care at Walter Reed with a bladder issue.
Austin's powers have been transferred to Deputy Defense Secretary Kathleen Hicks. The Defense Secretary was rushed to Walter Reed on New Year's Day following complications from prostate cancer surgery. The administration was not made aware for days, leading to national security concerns and criticism on Capitol Hill. Austin later apologized for his handling of the matter.
As Fox's Ryan Schmelz, a 5-year-old boy is in critical condition in Texas after he was shot in a Houston church by a woman who brought him there along with a gun. She opened fire. 2 off-duty police officers also there shot back, killing her. A man was also injured in the shooting inside Pastor Joel Osteen's famed church.
There are forces of evil, but the forces that are for us, the forces of God, are stronger than that.
Drama overnight in Gaza.
Israeli special forces conducted a complex rescue operation to save 2 hostages.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv reports the 2 are in good condition back home with their families.
The Israeli air support for this mission included fighter jets and attack helicopters that targeted positions across Rafah. Health authorities in Gaza say more than 67 Palestinians were killed in those strikes.
President Biden has been urging Israel to do more to protect civilians ahead of a new offensive against Hamas in Rafah, as a lot of Americans worry about the president in an ABC News poll.
In terms of concerns about the ability to serve, 86% in this poll of adults are saying he is too old for another term. That includes the 59% who think Trump is as well.
That's Fox's Peter Ducey. The Chiefs are Super Bowl champs again.
I'm going to celebrate it with these people right here, man. Hey, on 3, 1, 2, 3. How about those Chiefs?
Coach Andy Reid, after Kansas City's 25-22 overtime win over San Francisco on CBS, the Chiefs have won back-to-back titles. America's listening to Fox News.
A healthy weight, more energy, and smooth, regular bowel movements. 3 things everyone strives for.
It's me, Chuck Norris. There's one really important thing we don't talk about enough: our health. Achy joints, digestive issues, weight gain, and fatigue. We are told these are normal signs of aging. So working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick.
Morning Kick is a revolutionary formula combining 10 different supplements in one. Probiotics that help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and several of the most powerful anti-aging supplements on earth. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, focused, and help manage stress.
Anybody can achieve great health regardless of their age.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com. Use code SUPPORT or text SUPPORT to 511-511 and claim 40% off.